For Pittsburgh, with Anastasio and Carlos Campbell deep for the Irish. Wrestles kick taken by Campbell at the goal line. Nice little cutback move. Campbell, a defensive back. Disappointed he didn't get more as he brings it out to the 23-yard line. And Brady Quinn about to come out onto the field for the Irish. Brady, the 7th Notre Dame quarterback to pass for over 2,000 yards in a season. A couple of yards today, and he passes Joe Montana, of all people. As we take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Adidas. Actually, some of the seniors are getting a courtesy start offensively and defensively for the first play or so today, but that's the normal starting lineup for the Irish. The only senior on offense, Ryan Grant, among the starters. Brady Quinn in trouble, has to unload it, intended for Jared Clark. He's another senior as he gets the start, and it's incomplete. Thomas Smith putting on pressure from the front of the Pittsburgh Panthers. There you see Smith along with Kachunas and Stevens, both academic All-Americans. Blades, the leading tacklers, Session and Postel. And in the secondary, Mike Phillips getting a start today. Normally, Darrell Rivas starts, the freshman, but he sits on the sideline to begin the game today. 2nd down and 10. Here's a pitch to Grant. Ryan Grant hit and dropped after a gain of 2 at the 25-yard line by Darren Thomas, one of the linebackers for the Panthers, in replacing Session on that play.
You know, the Irish think today is going to be a day of big plays. As you see the difference in years from last year to this year in the first quarter. They've gotten off to better starts this year in the first quarter. One of the reasons they're 6-3 and heading to a bowl game this year. You know, last year they just got out of their game plan so early in the game, but been playing a lot of close games in the first quarter.
Josh Schmidt, who got the start as a senior, normally doesn't start, but out of the game now as the Irish try to spread the field on 3rd and long. Quinn, good protection, rifles it downfield, and it's intercepted.
Josh Lay
tried to see if he came up with the ball and stayed in bounds. He did. Josh Lay with his 2nd interception of the season. Earlier against Rutgers, he had an 82-yard touchdown return of an interception. So the fans wondering if Notre Dame would have a letdown after the big upset win at Knoxville. And they look a little flat on the opening series and turn it over.
Well, it certainly wasn't protection. But, you know, that's a ball that Raymond McKnight, I think, just has to keep coming back on. It looked like he stopped. And I tell you, if you're a quarterback and you feel that defender hugging your wide receiver needs to keep working his way back to prevent the interception.
They held on to the football, and the Panthers have it at the Irish 33-yard line. Palco's first pass on target. It's to Darryl Strong, who gets a start in a 3-wide receiver set for the Panthers as we look at our Pittsburgh Adidas starting lineups with Tyler Palco at the controls. 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, hitting 57% of his passes. You see the offensive line headed by Rob Petiti at that left tackle spot. Campbell, the walk-on, starts with Kirkley, Del Sardo and Lee, excellent receivers, and a good tight end in Eric Gill.
Good matchup here. That's Petiti and Tuck. They'll be going after each other a lot.
Fumble. And the Irish have it.
Now that's only the 5th lost fumble all season long for Pittsburgh.
I think it was Mike Goolsby, as Palco telling his coach Walt Harris. It was the exchange with center, it looked like. He came away without the football, and it lay there on the ground for a second or two before anybody reacted. Yeah, he never got it up.
Yeah, Palco had never had a chance. Bavarski, the center, just did never hit the hands of the quarterback.
And then it hit a foot of one of the offensive linemen just as Palco was about to fall on it. See that? Ricocheted away, and Mike Goolsby comes up with it. The senior playing his final game. Had the big interception return for a touchdown last week. Goolsby recovers a fumble. Notre Dame ball. Ball is brought to you by Xerox, helping your business grow in unexpected ways. By Capital One, what's in your wallet? And by Sirius Satellite Radio. Listen to the NFL every week only on Sirius Satellite Radio. Mike Goolsby recovered the fumble.
Yeah, let's have a look at it, another look at it, Tom. But as we said, Tyler Palko, the quarterback, never even gets a chance to get either hand on the ball. Just went right into the ground, then off the feet of Rob Petiti. Bounces around, and Mike Goolsby comes up with the recovery. Just an absolutely horrible exchange between the center and Tyler Palko.
Mike Goolsby, one of the 33 seniors on the Notre Dame roster. A little misleading because 18 of them can petition the university for another year of eligibility. But there are 33 officially, and some will be coming back. Ryan Grant will not. He is the one definitely ending his career today. Kyle Smith made the tackle of Grant after a short game.
Well, they have been opportunistic. The defense has set this offense up all year long. They've scored 3 touchdowns themselves, but they've also set up 31% of the points. So this is a team that's been characterized by great defense this season, really all throughout Tyrone Willingham's career here over the last 3 years. The offense has been very inconsistent this year, but the defense has done their job of giving short fields to play with.
Second down and long. Brady Quinn pumps once. Now goes deep. Shelton. He has it at the 25-yard line. Mike Phillips made a run at the football as it hung up, but couldn't get it, and Shelton grabs it as he broke wide open, a 47-yard gain.
You know, it's incredible. Matt Shelton has 19 career receptions, and 12 of them have been for 24 yards or more. He's averaging 27 yards a catch coming into today's ball game, and continues just to run by defenders. Good throw by Brady Quinn, good adjustment when the ball's in the air by Shelton. And, you know, the Irish felt they could actually throw some deep post patterns against the free safety, Tez Morris of Pittsburgh today. That was really on a corner, really wasn't on Morris.
Mike Phillips, who got the start in place of the freshman Revis. Hand to Darius Walker, and the freshman running back chugs ahead close to the 20-yard line. He'll be marked at about the 21. Vince Kratunas tackles him there.
You know, Matt Shelton just continues, as we said, to kind of blow by defensive. A little good head fake and absolutely got Mike Phillips turned around. And that gave him a little separation. Otherwise, Mike Phillips is able to come in and knock that ball away. But I think the good head fake created that separation, allowing for the long pass play.
So the big playmaker, Matt Shelton, with a 47-yard reception, which the Irish knocking on the red zone from the 22-yard line of Pittsburgh. And pass wide open, completed to Maurice Stovall, tackled immediately by Phillips.
Now, one of the things for the Irish, as I watch Maurice Stovall catch his 19th ball this year, between Maurice Stovall and Raymond McKnight, they're two wide receivers. They've caught a lot of balls. McKnight's caught 35, and that's 19 by Stovall, but only 2 touchdown catches between them. You know, they really haven't caught the ball much down in this area of the field going in the end zone. And you would think with their height, Stovall's 6'5", and McKnight is over 6 feet. They give him some jump balls, but they really have not this year.
The Big East officiating crew took a long look at it and determined that it was enough for a first down. So the Irish with a first down now at the 16 of the Panthers. Play clock already down to 4. 1 second. Just got it off. Walker tried to cut back. Dragged down on a touchdown-saving tackle, perhaps there, as he made his cut by Postel.
Malcolm Postel, number 6, the backside weak linebackers, had a really good year, particularly in the pass game. Had 2 interceptions for touchdowns this year, 6 interceptions on his career. And still the terrific ball handling by Brady Quinn as he handed that ball off to Darius Walker, continued that bootleg fake, and, you know, he was going to run 4 or 5 bootlegs each game, usually throwing the ball to his tight end Fasano.
See what they've done inside the 20. Right now they're at the Pittsburgh 12. Play clock. Just again beating it. Quinn, crossing pattern. Fasano down to the 3-yard line.
Fasano was like a basketball player, just bouncing off guys. He kind of ran an inside right. Clint Sessons, I was watching, number 17, the inside linebacker for Pittsburgh, had him man for him. Watch here, 17, just bounces off him, pushes off with his left arm, and just kind of finds that little window to the quarterback. You know, good protection for Brady Quinn, allowed him to spend a lot of time to find his big tight end over the middle. Really not bad coverage, really, by Sessions. Didn't have much of a chance. He had so much time to throw it.
Fasano, the junior from Verona, New Jersey, establishing himself this season as one of the best tight ends in college football.
A real deep threat.
Brady Quinn 3 for 3 on this drive. Pitch to Grant. Trying to get the corner. Good blocking and hit hard by H.B. Blades. If the name sounds familiar, he is the son of Benny Blades, who played at Miami and then in the NFL with Detroit and Seattle.
You know, the Pittsburgh defense has been particularly good in goal line defense. And you see why with plays like this. H.B. Blades, I got to tell you, that is a perfect tackle. Paul Rhodes, the defensive coordinator, was talking this week about the art of tackling. And if you want somebody to teach it, have H.B. Blades teach it after that hit.
He is the leading tackle man on this defense of the Panthers. Also has a couple of sacks and a couple of interceptions. Second down. Grant again. And again, he has stopped short of the goal line at about the 1 yard line.
Remember, Tom, we talked to Paul Rhodes, the defensive coordinator. They've had 4 goal line stands this year where 4 teams have been first in goal and come away with no points.
You see why with Blades making 2 consecutive hits on Ryan Grant. 3rd and goal. That's Paul Rhodes, the defensive coordinator. 3rd and goal. The ball spotted at the 1 yard line. Scoreless game, first quarter, Notre Dame Stadium. Grant again. Plowing. Did not make it. Stopped short by Blades one more time. H.B. Blades with 3 consecutive hits on Ryan Grant.
But Tom, you and I both know if Blades is making all those tackles, the inside guys, Krochunas and Stevens, those nose tackles and tackles inside are getting low and they're getting penetration and allowing H.B. Blades to run cleanly.
So 4th and goal, and Notre Dame's going to go for it from the 1 yard line. 4th and goal. And Grant unable to get there. Blades standing him up. Now Darius Walker is in at running back. He's behind the fullback, Rashawn Powers-Neal. The freshman Walker trying to overcome that Pittsburgh goal line stand. Walker. Touchdown. Well, it wasn't easy, but the Irish finally get it in.
You know what? I mean, that really shows a lot of confidence in your offensive lineman. Dan Stevenson, number 74, the right guard, really did a nice job of kind of burying his guy there. Rashawn Powers-Neal kind of stood his guy up, and then Darius Walker just bounces off that. But, you know, if you're an offensive lineman, you love that quick snap.
And DJ Fitzpatrick with the point after. The big play, a 47-yard pass to Matt Shelton. And then it took 4 downs to do it, but the Irish punch it across to take a 7-0 lead on Pittsburgh. Notre Dame scores first for just the 3rd time this season, taking a 7-0 lead over Pittsburgh, converting the recovered fumble into a Darius Walker touchdown.
Determined play calling and a determined run by Darius Walker to get him into the end zone.
10 plays, 74 yards, just under 6 minutes. And now Bobby Renkus to kick off. Kirkley and Furman, the deep men, right on the 10, and fumbled, a free ball.
They retain possession.
Furman able to fall on it. Wow, near disaster for Marcus Furman, who fumbled the ball but was able to fall on it.
They have really struggled in special teams. We talked about their coverage. They gave up, returns of 36, 45, and 58 yards last week. They've had 4 punts blocked, and that one goes right off his face mask.
Yeah, hit him in the face mask, and then he was able to dive on it right there. In fact, it went out of bounds.
He is a guy, Marcus Furman, that also had a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown against Nebraska. But
he can make some big plays, but you got to catch it first, huh?
That's the best place to start. It's a smaller face mask.
From the 18-yard line, Pittsburgh takes over. Tyler Palco, the quarterback. And whistles will stop that one. As we said, it's a Big East officiating crew headed by Gerard McGinn.
In 4 plays, they've had 2 fumbles and an offside. There's 3 plays, right? 2 fumbles and a motion penalty.
False start penalty there. Will pin them 5 yards further back. A disastrous start for Pittsburgh after Notre Dame tried to hand it to him by throwing an interception on their first possession. So 1st and 15.
Some very good wide receivers down here for Pittsburgh.
Del Sardo and Lee. Play action fake. Tyler Palko, the lefty, has a man wide open. And for a big gain, too. It's Campbell, the fullback. And he's upended short of the 40-yard line by Quentin Burrell. Gain of 26 yards. And take a look at our Adidas starting lineups for the Irish. 7 starters on this Notre Dame defensive unit will be playing their last game today, although Tuck could come back and could petition for another year. Hoyt could also come back. Goolsby and Curry definitely on their way out. And in the secondary, Alec, Burrell, and Jackson playing their final home game.
Well, Justin Tuck is the linchpin. He is eligible to come back next year. That'll depend upon his status in the NFL draft next spring. But boy, what a career he has had. Their all-time leading sack leader now, and as we've talked, Tom, it's really come a long way, and I think it's stopping the run. Got better every year.
Penalty flag down on that play, and it was
still a first down, though.
Yeah, marked off after
the play.
The play. We never did get an announcement. I didn't even see the flag, to be honest.
Nice you to be honest with you. I like that. I love your honesty.
If you say to be honest, it means you weren't earlier. Is that right?
I always found you to be relatively honest.
From the 23, first down, Panthers. Quick drop and a bubble screen to Del Sardo. And a little man crosses the 25-yard line. Short gain of the play. Dwight Ellick grabbed hold of Del Sardo. 5'8". He's from Pittsburgh, from Seton LaSalle High School, a walk-on who earned a scholarship at the start of this season.
Well, you know, it's interesting. After spring practice last year, as you see, he's only 68 inches tall, as you said, 5'8". He was asked the coach for a scholarship. They said no, and he thought about transferring. And then he came back, got the scholarship, and has played remarkably well. 32 catches, 4 touchdowns, including an unbelievable touchdown catch against Rutgers a few weeks ago.
No gain on that play. 2nd down and 10. Palko again has a man breaking wide open. It is Del Sardo, and he catches it at the 35-yard line for another Pitt first down.
Talked about Del Sardo and Greg Lee, and they have had some remarkable catches this year. Tom, we've watched some tapes of these guys. How many great Pittsburgh receivers have you seen over the years? Add Joe Del Sardo and Greg Lee to the crowd. You want, one-handed stabs? They have those. That was the touchdown catch I was talking about a few weeks ago against Rutgers. Just really, really steady, more than steady receivers. Wide receiver U. Here's Palko going deep, but overshooting his running back, or his tight end Gill, who had broken across the middle. That one incomplete from Tyler Palko. Tyler Palko, you may know the story. He's from West Allegheny High School, where he was coached by his dad, Bob, highly recruited. He came to a Notre Dame camp, was recruited by the Bob Davie coaching staff, who wanted him to play defense. His grandmother, Laverne, is a devout Catholic, Notre Dame fan, wanted him to play at Notre Dame Stadium. Well, he is today, but in a Pitt uniform, because Pittsburgh said he could play quarterback, which is what he had his heart set on doing in his college career. Kirkley, Raymond Kirkley, to the 40-yard line before he's thrown back by the center of the Irish defense. Gary Curry led the charge there. Tyler Palko, and he was talking to us this week, and actually Walt Harris, the coach, was saying, I've never been around a guy that is as prepared as Tyler Palko. A guy that, prepares better, and said that football is incredibly important to him. And, Walt Harris has been around a lot of great players. A lot of good quarterbacks, too. Yeah, absolutely. Third down play, Palko. Swing pass out of the backfield. Furman, what a nice move down the sideline for a first down. Quentin Burrell knocked him out of bounds inside the Irish 40-yard line, a gain of 22. This is a nice offense. It's not dependent upon one wide receiver like they were. This is the receiver right here out of the backfield, Furman. Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald last year. They kind of forced the ball to him. They have 2 good wideouts, 2 tight ends that have caught 4 touchdowns, and Marcus Furman now, that's his 18th catch. He had 9 catches last week. So unlike last year where they had the incomparable Larry Fitzgerald to kind of, throw the ball up and let him go get it even in double coverage, they really spread it around and much more balanced this year. Much more diverse, and the Notre Dame coach is saying that makes them tougher to defend.
despite the great Fitzgerald in the lineup last year. Del Sardo switching spots, moving to the top of the screen, the right. Play clock at 1. Just got it away. It's a pitch to Murphy. Tim Murphy with a cutback is to the 34-yard line of the Irish. I'm marking it about the 35, actually. And Derek Landry on the Notre Dame tackle.
What a year Derek Landry has had. Greg Pauly as well, and Trevor Laws also kind of fills in. Those three guys man the two inside defensive tackle positions for Notre Dame, and they just don't get knocked off the feet, and they stay real active. And Derek Landry, remember a couple of weeks ago, I think it was against Boston College, he had an unbelievable game.
2nd down and 7. Palco with plenty of time. Across the middle, had a man, Gill, wide open, and missed him. Too high. Would have been a big gainer for the Panthers.
That's twice they've missed Eric Gill down the middle.
He's hard to miss, too.
Yeah, 6'5", 270 pounds, you're right. Good. The right read by Palco, though. The wide receivers, 2 wide receiver, double covered, so usually leaves your tight end open down the middle. And here's the coverage on the outside. Here he is running right down the middle. Goolsby, good angle by Goolsby, forced Palco to kind of throw it a little bit high over his tight end.
3rd down and 7. Palco chased from the pocket. And he has a running lane, now a cutback. Palco, a good runner. Just upended at the 25-yard line by Preston Jackson, but it's enough for a Pittsburgh first down on a clutch run by Tyler Palco.
Well, he has a 43-yard run this year, the longest for the Panthers. At the very top, we said he's athletic. He's accurate, he's athletic, he's unconventional. Well, here's the athleticism. And you know, he's a tough physical guy. Against BC, just ran over a defender. And he's protecting the football. One of the things Walt Harris was talking to us about this week when we visited is, hey, when he gets on these scrambles, they really want him to protect the football, and you see he is right there.
Tucked it under. Here's a first down play. Play action fake. Palco again. Going for the corner of the end zone. Lee
had him.
Was open. Got away from Dwight Ellick, but Palco missed him.
If you're going to beat the Irish, it's not going to be running the football. They are just so tough to run against. And Kent Baer's got a great run defense again. But where the Irish have struggled and where they've had some losses and some bad plays is at the corner position. And Pittsburgh wanted to test these corners today. And he had Greg Lee wide open on the corner route.
Tyler Palco came to Pitt with some pretty good credentials at West Allegheny High School. The AP Pennsylvania Big School Player of the Year, 3 times All-State, state championship team. Handoff. It's Murphy that's finally upended short of the first down by Derek Curry and Preston Jackson.
Tim Murphy on the
carry. We spoke with Palco this week. He said, you know, I know we can't really run the ball consistently against Notre Dame. We have to take our chances when we run the ball. We have to play real good first down defense. And he said, I have to protect the football. I can't turn it over. If we're going to have any chance of winning, I have to protect the football and don't throw any interceptions.
In high school, he passed for a record 5,500 yards and rushed for another 1,700. 3rd down and 3. Short drop. Palco caught by Lee. And, of course, to the 10-yard line. The pass a little high from Palco, but Lee with those good soft hands able to go up and get it, and then tackled by Ellick and Zibikowski. Greg Lee, the sophomore from Tampa, not highly recruited, Pat, but I don't know why.
Yeah, this is a guy that none of the Florida schools recruited him, but, you know, he's now caught 42 passes. He's averaging 21 yards a catch. And to me, that's kind of remarkable to have that many catches and yet average 21 yards a catch right here. 8th in the NCAA. That's pretty amazing. So he's a great deep threat. He breaks tackles. He's very good after the catch. And good height and size 6'2", 200 pounds.
That was the third down conversion for the Panthers.
Very subtle audible, wasn't it?
Palco, after changing the play on a slant intended for Del Sardo and broken up by Preston Jackson and Quentin Burrell.
So Joe Del Sardo took a shot there by Quentin Burrell, right up here, number 4 at the top. Just a little bit behind him. Good coverage by Preston Jackson.
Actually, Zibikowski, I think, had put the shoulder to him there late after Jackson had knocked it away.
Good route runner is Joe Del Sardo, and generally he's going to catch anything in his neighborhood.
Kind of what that hit felt like on Del Sardo. It's 2nd down and 10. They can make a first down without scoring a touchdown.
And you always have to worry about Tyler Palco running.
Instead, it's Murphy with a run. Tim Murphy fighting his way inside the 5 and chugging down to the 3-yard line, where he's nudged out of bounds. It'll be a third down for the Panthers in the shadow of the Notre Dame goal line.
You know, Tim Murphy's a guy that has been injured most of this year. He's only been able to play in 4 of their 8 games. But when he has played, he has been a powerful back.
Nice block on the pull there by Mike McGlynn, 75.
With the right tackle. Good block there by Bukarski, the center. So Bukarski and McGlynn do a great job of leading the way for Tim Murphy.
And timeout called, though, with 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and Notre Dame leading, but Pittsburgh threatening. Tim Murphy, that was his 3rd carry here in the first quarter. He's picked up 18 yards so far. Timeout, Notre Dame leading 7-0. Back to see the next Pitt play. They have a third down coming up. The 15th play of the drive upcoming with 8 passes and 6 rushes. Another third down. They've converted all 3 third down conversions today. Murphy in motion, leaving an empty backfield. Palco. Look once, twice, 3 times, throws it dangerously, and it's caught for a touchdown. Derek Kinder, his first reception of the season, is a touchdown as Palco threw it into a crowd, a dangerous move, and Kinder, the freshman from Albion, New York, cradled it for the score.
Yeah, this is one when you throw this ball as a quarterback, you're just so happy to see your guy come down with it, because you know if you don't, you're going to watch this about 10 times over the next day with your coaching staff and say, throw that ball away. But Kinder did a great job of coming back and catching that ball, pulling it away from the defender and saving the interception and scoring a touch.
Wow. Extra point. Cummings kicks it up and through.
It's a nice drive by the Panthers.
A beautiful drive by the Panthers as they go 15 plays to score the tying touchdown.
Yeah, Derek Kinder up here against number 30, Mike Richardson, just kind of working his way through some traffic. Then go up at the higher point, kind of took it away from the defender into the end zone to tie the ball game at 7.
Beautiful drive by the Pitt Panthers to tie the game, converting all 4 of their third downs on that drive. In the first 8 games of the season, they converted third downs at a 34% rate. Walt Harris had them clicking that time as they converted all 4. And on third down, score the tying touchdown.
It's 100%, right? 4-4?
Still is.
Still 100%.
Gressel with a kick. Anastasio takes it about the 3-yard line. Chase Anastasio with a seam, and then it closes up at about the 22-yard line. Looked like he had a big gain coming, but it closed down, and Chris McKillop makes the special teams tackle. At NBCSports.com, click on a special section, NBC's Notre Dame Central, for Pat's analysis, including his look at the keys for a Notre Dame victory today. Plus, get complete post-game coverage and vote for this season's Irish MVP, all at NBCSports.com. We just saw Adam Gressel kick off. He was a teammate of Brady Quinn's at Kaufman High School in Dublin, Ohio. In fact, Brady Quinn, like his Pittsburgh counterpart Tyler Palco, thought about playing at Pitt, just as Tyler thought about playing at Notre Dame. Darius Walker with a pitch on the sweep, can't turn the corner. HB Blades again with help from Josh Lay.
HB Blades has had a pretty good first quarter, hadn't he? Really
Better
good.
than pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you saw him make the physical plays on the goal line defense earlier in the quarter, and then kind of a speed play on the outside. Leads the team in tackles, but he does a lot of things. He has 10.5 tackles for loss. He's 2 interceptions. He's got a couple of sacks. So he's one of those all-around good players. You don't have to take him out in passing downs.
Right. Had to be tough with that name. His dad, Benny. Of course, he's Horatio Benedict, HB. Coming down to the 2-minute mark in a 7-7 first quarter. Brady Quinn, second down pass. Chased from the pocket. Can he get away? No. Sacked. Back at the 20-yard line.
You know, those are ones you got to throw away, right? I mean,
Keith Hill, Dan Stevens, both all over Brady Quinn. That's right. You got to throw it away, not take the sack.
Yeah, 17th sack of the year on Brady Quinn. And you know, you don't want to put yourself in bad situations. You throw that one away, and you would have been in third and about 6. Instead, you're at 3rd and 12. because he had some pretty good protection.
So from the 20-yard line, 3rd down and 12 on the 17th sack. This time, finally protection breaks down, coverage downfield is good. He has to dump it off to Samardzija for a short gain, well short of 1st down yardage.
Yeah, the sack, really took him out of the 1st down. I mean, that catch, all they would have needed was 5 yards, so the sack keeps him at it. So it's one of those things as Brady Quinn matures, and he's playing a lot better this year than he did last year. But there's things he still has to do better, and then one of them, I think, is getting rid of the ball.
Well, he sort of mirrors this whole offense, doesn't he? And that is inconsistent.
Yeah,
sometimes plays well, sometimes not so well, even from series to series or half to half.
Well, as we were talking to Bill Diedrich, the offensive coordinator, said we have not played a full game yet offensively. We've played some nice halves, and as you said, some nice series, but they have not put together 2 good offensive halves.
DJ Fitzpatrick takes a low snap and kicks it toward Richardson. End over end, and Richardson calls for a fair catch, was hit just as he signaled for it. That'll be a penalty against Notre Dame. Maurice Stovall, fair catch interference after the punt had only covered 37 yards, and they're going to get penalty yardage as well. And we understand the referee's mic, Gerard McGinn, his mic not working. You'll try it anyway.
Can't catch an interference on the defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty being forced from the spot of the foul.
Nice call.
1st down.
Just can't trust anybody these days,
Okay, we got that working now. Well, again, this has been an area, clearly the fair catch, and Maurice Stovall's right on top of him. But Alan Richardson has caught the ball well, has not returned the ball particularly well. Only 4 yards per return. We'll be back in a moment.
Notre Dame band trying to work up a little enthusiasm from this crowd, which is pretty quiet at the moment, with 1:06 left in a tied 1st quarter. And Pittsburgh begins in Notre Dame territory. That could have been a penalty or an interception.
Del Sardo slipped.
Del Sardo slipped, I guess. I thought he might have been hit early, but he just slipped with Preston Jackson defending. It goes incomplete.
He just runs a little slant route right off the left foot. Still almost catches it.
He's pretty capable of doing that, isn't he? That little pesky Del Sardo. And as we talked to him, you had to admire him. All his life he's been told he was too small for this, too small for that. Had good high school credentials, All-State, AA Player of the Year in Pennsylvania, 145 receptions.
Yeah, for 2,400 yards. And he's played well this year for Pittsburgh.
Palco chased from the pocket, tucks it under, and again has a nice gain. Dives forward just short of the 35-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 3.
On the last drive, they were, as you mentioned, 4 for 4 on 3rd downs, and they're facing one now. Take a look at this last drive, the 3rd down conversion. A little bit of everything. A little flip pass to Marcus Furman down the sideline, then a scrambler by Palco for the 1st, then a nice catch by Greg Lee, and then to cap it off, the touchdown pass to Kinder. 4 of 4 on 3rd downs, and they face 3rd and 3 right now.
Palco's 6 of 11 for 78 yards and a touchdown. He's hit 6 different receivers. Palco's pass. Penalty flag down as Del Sardo was interfered with by Preston Jackson.
They've got quite a battle going. Preston Jackson is covering Joe Del Sardo regardless of whether it goes to short or wide side of the field. And he's got him covered. And that time they're going to call pass interference on him. But Charles Spencer, the left guard for, as you watch the pass, he got held right at the very beginning.
Could have been holding as well as interference, huh?
Yeah, good call.
Take your choice.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 15, automatic, 1st down.
Well, the Pitt coaches said we want to try to work on those corners. Game plan successful so far.
Well, we've talked about that. This defense has played sensationally all season long, but they've been hurt some at corner, where they've given up big plays, and they've given up some pass plays, some large, long 25-yard plus pass plays. It's been at the corner. And now they've faced some awfully good receivers.
Final seconds of the 1st quarter. Pittsburgh with another 1st down after a 3rd down conversion, that time by penalty. Palco hit as he delivers. fires, and it's dropped. It would have been a touchdown. Del Sardo, after all the bragging we've done on him, dropped a sure touchdown.
You know, he's made some spectacular catches this year. And we talked to Walt Harris yesterday or Thursday, and he said this guy just does not drop the ball. But this is right there, number 4, right down the middle. Wide open, perfect throw by Palco. Right off the shoulder pads. Yeah.
Let the ball get into your pads like that instead of catching it in your hands, and that's what happens.
Well, we see one of their players, drop one off the face mask. That time, Del Sardo off the shoulder pads.
11 seconds left in the quarter. 2nd down and 10. Palco swings, complete. Campbell.
That guy's slipping and sliding, aren't they?
Yeah, he's looked like he was going to have a nice gain. Instead, he's down at the 20-yard line, covered by Goolsby and Zibikowski there as the first quarter comes to a close. Pittsburgh still threatening, though, as we begin the second quarter. They'll be trying to advance to take the lead. At the end of one, it's a 7-7 game. We'll return to Notre Dame Stadium right after these messages from your local NBC station. The second quarter with Pitt and Notre Dame tied at 7, and the Panthers facing another 3rd down. They've converted everyone they've faced today. 3rd down and 10. That's what Palco has done so far. Had a sure touchdown drops.
I see Darryl Strong down here at the bottom. He's a 6'5 freshman. One of the things he said, you may want to try to get him some balls to jump up and get.
Across the middle, snagged at the 10-yard line by Eric Gill. And it's a 1st down as they convert another 3rd down. It's 1st and goal inside the 10. Mike Richardson the tackle.
You know, they've thrown 2 balls over the head of Eric Gill. That time well thrown by Palco. The tight end right down the middle of the field. Good cut. Early throw. Pretty good coverage by Mike Richardson, but a strong hands of Eric Gill just took it right away from him.
17th catch of the season.
Tight ends have caught 4 touchdowns. You see he's caught 2 of them.
1st and goal, just inside the 10-yard line. Handed to Murphy. Zipping up the middle and into the end zone. Did he hit down first? It's going to be marked just short, just inside the 1-yard line.
Walt Harris, who is not only the head coach, he's the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. He is calling a good game, and they're getting great execution. They're judicious with the runs, but a big hole there. You don't see that much against this Irish front, but a big hole for Murphy.
Good block on Goolsby to get a little space. Goolsby finally recovered, and then Zibikowski saves the touchdown. His knee down inside the 1. So spot the football there inside the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal. Campbell at the tailback spot here. Straight ahead, touchdown, no. They say no, he did not quite get in. Tim Murphy again carrying the ball.
Murphy lined up at fullback that time, plays some fullback and tailback. That time lined up at fullback, gave him a quick little hitter.
And Campbell, the fullback, lined up at tailback. They just switched spots.
I'd be surprised.
All the Pitt players were signaling touchdown, but the linesman said no.
It's an old trick. It's an old trick. You're coached. You put those hands up, maybe you influence a ref. I'll be very surprised if Tyler Palco doesn't try to sneak this in.
All right, well, it's 3rd down. That's been the magic number for the Panthers today. Handed off and stopped again.
See, I don't like that without a lead blocker. You either sneak it, do it yourself, the quarterback, but if you give the ball to the fullback, there's just no lead blocker. Great penetration by the Irish defense. Oh, Justin Tuck got there first and just buried Tim Murphy.
Murphy never had a chance, operating again from the fullback spot in the eye. And there was just no place to go. So the field goal unit will come out after the Irish goal line stand.
And, and that saving tackle by Zibikowski, it's one of those things as you look, as we think about the 4th quarter going ahead, the second half of this game, remember that tackle by Zibikowski that saved the touchdown.
Well, now timeout. Pitt takes a timeout to discuss whether they will go for the field goal or try to punch it in on 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. We'll take a break and get Walt Harris's decision when we return. 7-7 game. Football is brought to you by Adidas. Impossible is nothing. By Coca-Cola. Let's make it real. By Bristol Myers Squibb Company. Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. And by the U.S. Postal Service. With more new ways to use us than ever before, the U.S. Postal Service is working for you. Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Lewis Johnson, Notre Dame Stadium, final home game for the Irish. Tied with Pitt 7-7. And the Panthers attacking Kent Bayer's Notre Dame defense. And on 4th and goal from the 1, Pitt will go for it.
Now, I think you kick the field goal here when you're on the road.
2 tight ends and H-back. I formation in the backfield. Hand it to Murphy, diving. No, faked it, and a pass. Complete, fake me out to the tight end. Buyukis.
That's the 5th touchdown catch by tight ends. He is the backup tight end to Eric Gill. Eric Gill, we said earlier, caught 2. That's his 3rd touchdown catch.
Pretty productive number of catches to touchdowns. Buyukis, sophomore from Pittsburgh. And as Murphy dived over the top into the end zone, I thought he had the football.
Well,
but instead,
good ball handling, right?
Palco kept it and spotted the tight end for the score. Josh Cummings, the extra point attempt. Boots it through.
Well, another nice drive by the Panthers. And, you know, they did a little bit of everything on that drive. Ran the ball when they had to. But take another look at the touchdown. A great play action faced by Palco to his tailback here. He dives with it, and he does a great job of kind of diving. And then really a wide open tight end, Buyukis. Again, you know, on 3rd downs, they've been remarkably good this entire half. Time to see play action fakes and the tight ends wide open. The Irish have done it a bunch this year. Walt Harris
is fired up, isn't he?
As he said, he's the head coach, he's the offensive coordinator, and he's the quarterback coach. There's only 3 coaches in the country that do all 3 of those things.
And he's been under fire from the media and even from Tony Dorsett, the former Panther star. And it's been a rocky season for Coach Walt Harris, but he told us he's tried to block it out, concentrate only on football, but sort of isolate himself and his team from all the speculation.
Tom, I don't know what they want there, quite honestly. He's had 4 winning seasons in a row, gone to 4 straight bowl games. His kids are graduating. He's got 2 academic All-Americans on the team right now. I mean, the program was a mess before he got there. I mean, I think Walt Harris has done everything you ask a head coach to do. You win. You got good kids. You're going to class. They're graduating.
Gressel to kick after the touchdown. Anastasio and Campbell. This will be Campbell at the 4. Carlos Campbell. Nearly broke it. Bouncing off. Had he cut to the sideline, he might have been able to make it to the end zone. He's a little upset with himself, too. It's still a nice return. H.B. Blades, playing special teams, also makes a saving tackle for the Panthers.
Well, the Irish keep changing up who is returning the ball for them. And this is about the 6th different combination this year, but Campbell looks to be among the best they've had. And you're right, he had a chance to kind of break it outside, pick up another 30. A lot of guys having trouble with the footing today.
Yeah. Well, twice Pittsburgh started in Notre Dame territory, but the Irish averaging a start at their own 26. This one is across the 30 to about the 33 where they begin this drive, now trailing. Stovall in motion. Brady Quinn. First down pass. Going deep for Shelton. Shelton's got it! And a flag down.
He was interfered with by Mike Phillips. Hey, let me ask you a question. Does Matt Shelton ever go short?
No. What's the point?
I just don't think they need to have him go short. I mean, he's done it, you know, against Michigan. He's done it against BC. He's done it about everybody. He's got great speed. Mike Phillips just kind of grabbed him, but it started with wonderful pass protection for Brady Quinn. He's right down here in the bottom. He's going to get held there and still has the strength to catch the ball. 2
catches for 92 yards for Matt Shelton.
If he had 8 more, I could give you the average.
Thank you. From the 21. You've been average today, actually. From the 21, first down and a handoff to Darius Walker. And Walker somehow moving the stack of would-be tacklers ahead. That was a pretty powerful run by Darius Walker, and a late flag comes flying.
You know, and that gets the crowd a little excited. It has been a rather quiet home crowd for the Irish. Darius Walker, one of really 10 returning starters on offense next year.
Dead ball, personal foul on offense, number 66. Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. Penalties offset, second down.
I think he's got the wrong number for the Irish. I don't have a 66 on it. But, you know, just a kind of a determined run by Darius Walker. We saw him score earlier on such a run. Just kind of keeps churning, pumping. Gets kind of some of his guys pushing him from behind.
Might have been 68 Ryan Harris he was trying to say. I don't know. He got a sort of a late push, and then Pittsburgh player pushed him back. In any event, they offset. Second down and 5.
I think they need to give Darius Walker more touches.
How about Ryan Grant using his blockers? Nearly broke it as the hole closed in a hurry thanks to Clint Session.
Well, it looked like there was going to be a hole all the way into the end zone until Session, number 17, just kind of stuck his helmet right into that hole and took down Ryan Grant, because if he misses him, he clearly is gone.
Session, sophomore from Pompano Beach, Florida, second leading tackler for the Panthers.
And as I said, a very good interceptor. Intercepted a couple passes. All these linebackers have been good in the passing game.
2 interceptions for Session. Grant, again, trying to use his blockers.
Not the first, though.
Got it at the 10-yard line. Tyrone Gilliard, the Pittsburgh stop, but not until Grant churns out a Notre Dame first. Ryan Grant missing 3 games with injury. And as we pointed out all season long, the senior playing his final home game here has been an inspirational force, even on the sideline when not playing. And has taken the Darius Walker, for one, under his wing.
I mean, the 7th Irish player to ever rush for 1,000 yards. That was a couple years ago.
First and goal, 10-yard line. Brady Quinn's going to throw for it. Has McKnight to the 5-yard line. Twisted down there, however, preventing the touchdown. It was Gilliard again.
Yeah, that was a nice tackle by Tyrone Gilliard, and he was the guy that Paul Rhodes was pointing to us as we went and spoke with Pittsburgh, that, you know, they really did not have a particularly good tackling game for a couple of games earlier in the season. Then they benched him for a while, spent some time every day after practice on tackling, and he made a great stop there on Raymond McKnight.
Second and goal, 5-yard line. Walker, the tailback in the eye, behind Powers Neal, who goes in motion. Pitch to Walker. Cut back. Walker, touchdown!
Hey, Tom, that was a heck of a cutback by Darius Walker. There was nothing there at the point of attack. But he sees it. This guy's got great vision. Keeps his head up. That thing was supposed to go off tackle to outside, and he cuts it right back all the way over the center. Great vision and good strength.
Second touchdown run today by Darius Walker as Fitzpatrick tacks on the extra point. And the Irish, as Darius Walker's dad Jimmy applauds, have tied Pitt. The big play again, a 46-yarder to Matt Shelton to put him in scoring territory, and then Walker finishes it off. Well, if it's working, keep doing it for Pittsburgh. Some clutch third down conversions leading to their 2 touchdowns, and Notre Dame uses this formula. 46-yard gain to Shelton twice. Touchdown run by Walker twice.
Matt Shelton has been phenomenal this year when you consider how many times he's run by guys and how open he's been as he's run by them. And it's not like in the scouting report they don't know he's going to go deep.
And think last year when they didn't really have a deep threat, it makes them a much more dangerous team when the specter of Shelton streaking downfield is in your lineup. Rehnquist with the kick. Furman handles this one cleanly at the 10. Picking his way forward. Makes a nice cut and then slammed down hard short of the 35-yard line. Still a nice return for Marcus Furman.
At that time, I think he went by 20%. Dorset.
And, of course, as we mentioned earlier, one of the great names in Pitt football history, but has been critical of the current coaching regime. Handoff to Tim Murphy. Tim Murphy uses his blockers well. Gets about 5 yards before Brandon Hoyt puts him out of bounds.
Pittsburgh's actually running the ball a little bit better than I certainly anticipated. They're over 50 yards now rushing. And so they've had a nice mix of runs, and when they've run the ball, they've been productive, just like on that one. They picked up 6 yards, and that's allowed Tyler Palko to get good pass protection, find all his receivers. He's using his tight end and his backs.
To get that good gain on first down gives him a lot more flexibility now with 2nd down and 4.
And just what he talked to us, he said, I have to play real good first down offense.
Short drop down the sideline and caught by Lee. Greg Lee be wrestled down short of the 40-yard line. Another big play through the passing game for Pittsburgh as Ellick and Zibikowski get him down, but not until Lee had the reception for 20 yards.
You know, the underthrown deep ball has become a real designed play in football these days. This ball was intentionally underthrown to allow Greg Lee at 6'2" to go up and out-jump Dwight Ellick for the pass.
Dwight Ellick at 5'10". So another big play for the Panthers. Here's a handoff. Raymond Kirkley, the leading ground gainer on the season for the Panthers at 526 yards coming into today's game. And he again on first down gets a nice gain before Zibikowski makes the tackle. Another 6-yard gain on first down.
You know, another big pass play than that last play to Greg Lee. And you see the Notre Dame defense, they've played really stout run defense. They've given up a lot of pass plays, long pass plays, over 20 yards. Good mix of plays and execution by the Panthers.
Palko changing the play. The play clock still has plenty of time. He called a run, and he shouldn't have. Kirkley met in his tracks. It'll be dropped for a big loss. We'll see where they mark forward progress. It was Derek Landry that hit him in his tracks. He never had a chance to take a step.
You know, Derek Landry, we said he's an unusual nose tackle because most guys just kind of keep blockers away from linebackers, but he makes a lot of plays. As a matter of fact, the interception last week against Tennessee, he was actually in the face of the quarterback, Clausen, that allowed, that forced the errant throw that Goolsby picked off and scored. And that was only a 3-man rush. They had a 3-man line. So, indeed, Derek Landry's had a big season.
Loss of 4 on the play.
And now they're in the 3-down lineman set, which they ran a lot last week against Tennessee successfully.
3rd down. Can Pitt convert again into traffic, and in traffic another catch made. Wow, these receivers. Greg Lee again with 3 men bracketing him. Catches it for 19 yards.
Yeah, that's the ball I'm sitting up here saying, don't throw that ball, he's covered. Well, he's one of those guys, even when he's covered, he's open right down the middle of the field. A little bit of a jam, and then, just perfectly timed, and then so strong. I mean, the hands and arm just pulled it away from the defender. We saw the graphic a moment ago, 38 passes. That's the 39th pass the Irish defense has given up over 20 yards.
Lee from Chamberlain High School in Tampa only had one other scholarship offer. That was from San Diego State, and the Pitt coaches only saw him by looking at another player. Palko evades the rush. And now throws it away. Smart move by Tyler Palko.
Yeah, they call that a throwaway. I mean, that's what Walt Harris calls that play, a throwaway. And then that's a positive play, a good play from Tyler Palko.
Looked like Derek Curry had him.
Well, he is really strong. He's 6'2", 220 pounds. We said he's athletic, he's tough, he's smart, and he did the absolute right thing there.
He kind of plays like a coach's son, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Heads up play.
He's football mature, even though he's only a sophomore, because he's been around the game for so long.
His dad didn't let him play till he was in the 8th grade, but he was around football all the time since his dad was a coach. Murphy on the draw play, chugging down to the 3-yard line.
I really enjoyed getting a chance to speak with Tyler. He was really a good student, economics major at Pittsburgh. And as we said, the game is so important. He wants to be a really good player. I mean, highly recruited. Some suggest perhaps the biggest recruit at Pittsburgh in 20 years.
Here's his dad, Bob, who coached him at West Allegheny High School. 3rd down. 3rd and goal from the 3. Palko. Fade drop. No contest. Lee just goes up over Dwight Ellick and scores the touchdown. Lee with his 6th touchdown catch of the season, and that was too easy.
You know, the corners of Notre Dame have been exposed again, Tom. I mean, it's just no doubt about it. People just continue to throw the ball up and high, jump balls, and athletic receivers keep out-jumping the corners for Notre Dame.
Josh Cummings will attempt the extra point as the Panthers regain the lead.
That was 3 great catches by Greg Lee on that drive alone.
Palco was 3 of 4, 54 yards, all 3 completions to Lee, including the touchdown as Cummings notches the extra point.
Heck, did Pittsburgh lose 3 games?
Well, they've lost 3 in a row to Notre Dame. They've lost 6 straight here at Notre Dame Stadium, but they're looking good today. Back on top, 21-14.
You see it, we in here, baby, you see it.
Greg Lee, the star of that last drive by the Pitt Panthers, as Tyler Palco hit him 3 times, including for the touchdown. And Pittsburgh regains the lead. Gressel's kick, fielded on the hop, no, into and out of the end zone for the touchback. And Notre Dame will take over at the 20-yard line as Tyler Palco and Greg Lee combined almost single-handedly on that last scoring drive. All 3 completions on the drive were to Greg Lee as he goes over Ellick with his superior size, caught it in traffic there, and then on the touchdown just goes up again over Ellick for the score. Palco to Lee was the story of that drive.
And, you know, he's playing what they call their Z receiver. It's their flanker, and it's the same position that Larry Fitzgerald played last year, and he's playing Fitzgerald-like today.
Already Tyler Palco has found the range. You see that final, Boston College beating West Virginia. That impacts Notre Dame's hopes for the Gator Bowl, as does trailing in this game as Walker breaks it big. Darius Walker finally caught at the 40-yard line of Pitt by Darrell Rivas, the freshman cornerback for the Panthers. A gain of 40 yards for Darius Walker, the longest run of his young career.
Yeah, we talk about division. I just like his eye. You know, great blocking there. Bob Morton, number 76, kind of cleared away. So did Stevenson. But he's always got those eyes up, always looking. He only had 9 carries last week against Tennessee, but incredibly productive, almost 8 yards a carry. And, you know, last year they didn't use Julius Jones enough early in the year, but still had a 1,200-yard year. I still believe Darius Walker has to touch the ball more. He continues to produce.
This game has all the earmarks of a shootout here at the moment. Brady Quinn's pass complete.
Josh Schmidt
to the 35-yard line, the fullback Josh Schmidt. Fasano with a good block, a gain of 16 to the senior Josh Schmidt, the former walk-on, now on scholarship, who has proven such a valuable and inspirational player for the Irish the last couple of years.
Yeah, nice little call there by Bill Dietrich as his fullback Josh Schmidt slips out in the flat. Pittsburgh ran a similar play. Both times fullbacks were wide open.
Teams have been trading touchdowns all through the first half with 5:20 left.
20 different receivers. He actually completed 2 passes to himself.
Not necessarily a good thing. Here's the handoff to Marcus Wilson. And Wilson turns the corner, gets inside the 20-yard line. Marcus Wilson, the senior from Staten Island, New York. We spoke to him yesterday, and very team-oriented guy who has enjoyed his career immensely at Notre Dame and has also sort of found his stride here late in this season.
How about a guy that, you know, ordinarily asks these guys, hey, you know, what do you like to do away from football? And they'll be saying, you know, video games, whatever. He says, hey, I enjoy reading my hometown newspaper.
Yeah, goes online to read it.
The Staten Island Advent. Born in Belize, as you said.
Born in Belize, and his mom was from Belize. He's one of the 18 seniors who can petition for another year of eligibility. Walker hits the hole and then clamped down. Collapsed there by Vince Krachunas. Krachunas, 5th-year senior, Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania, twice an academic All-American.
Well, has the chance of being their very first 3-time academic All-American. Graduates, actually graduate student, graduated with a tri-major of communications, history, and political science.
That's amazing just in itself.
Yeah, interesting guy. Another guy that likes to read the paper as he was telling us this week.
He's in the Graduate School of Education, and right next door to him, Dan Stevens, another academic All-American, who's in graduate school in international affairs. Quinn for the end zone. Stovall. Touchdown. As Stovall used his height to go over Josh Lay.
You know, Tom, we've said it. I think a guy at 6'5", you've got to give him more chances to do that. That is his first touchdown catch all season long, but they don't give him many opportunities. And at 6'5", they should, I believe.
Made a nice adjustment to the football.
Made a nice adjustment. He's always going to have a 4 to 6 inch height advantage on defensive backs around the country, but they just don't give him many opportunities. And when they do, he made the most of that one.
Fitzpatrick for the point after. And it's good.
It is good.
A defensive struggle. Neither team able to stop the other here in the first half. We're tied at 21 with 4.5 minutes left. Push-ups in honor of the 21 Notre Dame points. At this rate, they'll be exhausted by halftime. As the two teams scoring at will. That last drive by the Irish, set up by the big run from Darius Walker. 5 plays, 80 yards, just over a minute. Rinkus sees the kick go out of bounds in front of Furman. So the Panthers will start from the 35-yard line. Brady Quinn and Tyler Palko involved in the shootout. And already Palko has thrown 3 touchdown passes. It's the 4th game this season he's thrown 3, and he still has more than a half to go.
Yeah, both of them have been very, very efficient. Remember, Quinn's interception came on his very first pass, but rebounded since then. But Palko's kind of thrown it around to his tight end, his backs, both wide receivers. He's been able to scramble, throwing the ball away when he's had to, just manage the game very, very well.
Pitt has had 4 possessions. On the first one, they ran 2 plays and then fumbled. Since then, a 15-play, 82-yard touchdown drive, a 9-play, 43-yard touchdown drive, and an 8-play, 66-yard touchdown drive. First down for the Panthers here from the 35. Murphy got the fake, and then downfield, another big play, and then another one to Greg Lee. How do you stop him? Greg Lee catches it at the 30-yard line. Pitch and catch. Palko to Lee.
You know what he's really good at is getting off the line of scrimmage. I mean, there was a guy right on his nose. They have a defensive back over the top who just didn't get there in time. But he just avoids the initial bump, and that doesn't allow. See, he goes right by Campbell, who's trying to jam him, and then a really good adjustment. He knows he's going to take a shot, but boy, what a brilliant first half Greg Lee has had.
5 catches, including a touchdown. That one went for 35 yards. First down at the Irish 30. Play action fake. Palko steps up, sack. Back to the 35-yard line by Victor Abiamiri. Let's go to Lewis Johnson on the sideline.
All right, Tom, thanks so much. Well, Tyler Palko's dad cannot sit in the stands. Why? Because he's a football coach. 10 years at Allegheny High School where you coached your son. You're watching him today so far. He's thrown 3 touchdowns. What do you think about his performance?
Well, so far, so good, but there's a long way to go.
There is. Now, listen, there's a rumor that when he was an infant, you actually bought a T-shirt that said future quarterback, and by 9, he was actually drawing football plays. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, he was always involved in it, always wanted to be around, and, you know, so far it's worked out for him.
And in high school, as you coached him from 99 to 2001, you know, were you his biggest critic and also his biggest fan at the same time?
Well, probably more his biggest critic, you know, more about his books than anything. I mean, you know, it was, you know, athletics kind of took care of itself, really. So, you know, he works hard and puts the time in, so see what happens, really.
All right. I think Tyler's dad is into the game, Tom, as you can imagine. Thanks.
Tyler just threw a screen pass to Furman for a gain of 15, so they got back the sack yardage and almost enough for a first down. It's 3rd down and 1. They've been key on 3rd down today. Kirkley is the lone setback. Palko sneaks, and it looks like he has enough for the first down as he gets inside the Irish 20.
We talked about Tyler Palko managing the game time. Reminds me of Kyle Orton. We came in here a few weeks ago and managed the game so well. He just made all the right decisions, you know, from audibles, throwing the ball away, scrambling when he's had to, finding the open guy. and most importantly, giving Greg Lee some chances, even when Greg Lee's been covered.
They're going to measure. Didn't get the best of spots, it doesn't appear there. All squarely on the 20. And enough by the length of the football for the first down. Pittsburgh now 8 of 9 on third down conversions.
Incredibly efficient. Palco with almost 200 yards passing here in this first half. And Greg Lee has 95 of them. He's averaging 104 per game. Bet you gets it today, Tom. My guess.
Palco dodging the rush. Scrambles from the pocket. Unloads to the end zone. Touchdown. That one was the second of the day to Biyukis.
You know, at the very beginning of the show, we showed some video of Tyler Palco, how resourceful he is. But even when you have him defended, even when you got a good pass rush on him, your defensive backs are doing a pretty good job early in the route. You can have the perfect defense, and you can still make something out of absolutely nothing.
You think the Notre Dame secondary had toast this morning?
Well, that's 4 touchdown passes in the first half by Tyler Palco.
Extra point good by Cummings despite a high snap as the holder Gressel got it down. Bob Palco's happy. His son Tyler has thrown 4 touchdown passes in the first half. 28-21. All right, Jimmy, we'll be sending it your way in a little less than 3 minutes on the game clock. Tyler Palco, the 11th quarterback ever to throw 4 touchdown passes against Notre Dame in a single game, and he's done it in the first half. No quarterback has ever toasted Notre Dame for 5 touchdown passes in a game. Carlos Campbell, he's had some pretty good returns today. A flag comes down at the end of that return, which is to the 31-yard line.
Well, you know, Tom, he's the son of a coach, as we've said before, but he does some coaching himself on the sideline.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, sometimes you may want to speed cut that because there's a lot of guys, like, they're all packing in here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I see it now. Especially.
And Walt Harris.
He said the corner was outside the deep. I told him he's going to have to make it out, bend it. There's no one underneath it.
Yeah, Walt Harris, head coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterback coach. So you see him coming over to the bench and coaching quarterbacks and wide receivers.
He usually has a little cooling off period, but if it's after a touchdown, usually it's a little easier to get right to his quarterbacks and his offensive members. If it was not a successful series, then sometimes he has a little cooling off period for both sides there before he starts to coach them again. Penalty against Notre Dame puts them back at the 16-yard line. Play action fake the end around. Quinn hits a screen to Walker. Walker looking for a block, picking his way forward, and finally makes it to the 40-yard line. HB Blades tracks him down there, but a big play for the Irish and a first down and covered 21 yards.
Yeah, Darius Walker's had a great day as a running back, but now even as a receiver, well-designed screen play here. Bill Dietrich, the offensive coordinator, faking the reverse to Matt Shelton, who deserves some attention every time he moves around. I'll tell you, Postel, number 6 for Panthers, did a good job of forcing Darius Walker inside. Otherwise, he goes for a touch.
Bill Dietrich calling the plays, has had some big plays today.
Oh, well, big hole.
Walker grabbed at midfield. A late flag came down. Jez Morris made the tackle.
Excuse me, Tom. Ryan Harris, Bob Morton on the left side opened up a tremendous hole for Darius Walker,
which will be nullified by the penalty. So step it off against the Irish.
Holding on the offense. Number 74, 10-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Remains first down.
Dan Stevenson guilty of the hold. Nullifying the big play and putting the ball all the way back now to the Notre Dame 29-yard line.
Every time I see Darius Walker touch the ball, whether it's a run or a catch, you know, he's got good vision, he's got good strength, and very good instincts.
First and 20. Clock shows just over 2 minutes to play in the first half. Quinn to Grant. Screen to the other side. And Grant got some of the penalty yardage back, short of the 40-yard line, stopped by Clint Session.
I haven't seen that from the Irish much this year. They've run those bubble screens, but not more conventional screens. That's the first time I've seen it, and they've run two of them back-to-back.
One to each side, one to Walker, one to Grant. Sets up a 2nd and 11. That's what the Notre Dame offense has done today. Some big plays. Need one here. Quinn's pass, wide open. Fasano, the big tight end, knocked out of bounds, 2 yards short of the first down by Darrell Rivas.
Anthony Fasano kind of banged up, but you know, a guy who can catch, who can run after the catch, can knock people down. And you know, we talked about him being a deep threat as a tight end against Purdue a few weeks ago. Remember, he had those 3 catches for over 25 yards.
2nd down and 2. Notre Dame still with a full complement of timeouts and 1:22 on the clock.
Actually, 3rd down, I think, Tom.
Excuse me, it is 3rd down. 3rd down and 2. Grant has the first down. Tripped up. Ran into the umpire. But has the first down for the Irish. Clock will stop as the chains are reset. And Notre Dame still with those 3 timeouts in their pocket.
Hey, Ryan Grant has a running style that offensive linemen love because he is just not going to dance. He's always running downhill, always got those shoulders square.
Hurry up offense for the Irish through the hands of Grant and incomplete. Quinn threw it hard and a bit behind him.
And sometimes Brady Quinn has excellent ball placement. You know, and that's when he gets it out in front of the guys so they can run after the catch. And sometimes just a little bit off target. And that was one of those examples. Because Ryan Grant was open, could have caught that and run for a first down. Certainly gotten out of bounds.
You speak from experience in that ball placement.
Absolutely. Yeah, he had him right, you know, on the wrong side of the shoulder every time.
2nd down and 10. Blitz comes from the Panthers, picked up by Notre Dame. Quinn loads it up. Flag is down. Stovall with a nice catch in traffic to the 5-yard line. There is a penalty marker.
I think they may get Ryan Harris for holding.
41 yards if it stands.
Ryan Harris trying to pick up a blitz off the backside.
And it is a hold against the Irish.
It was Malcolm Postel, the outside linebacker, who came in late on a blitz. Harris did a real good job of stepping out to pick him up, but then pulled him down.
Holding on the offense. Number 68, 10-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Repeat 2nd down.
Ryan Harris on the hold as this drive has been marred by big penalties against the Irish, who now have been penalized 5 times for 61 yards.
Right down here. Picks up the blitz, does a good job, but just gets that left hand and tackles the blitzing linebacker, Postel. As I tell you, they've given Maurice Stovall 2 chances, though, and both times he's gone up and made the play. So growing confidence in both throwing the ball to him and by Stovall going up and getting it.
2nd and 20. Inside a minute. Pass Quinn chased. And throws it away. Good decision. Stovall was behind the defense, but because he was chased from the pocket, Quinn couldn't get it to him.
So Pittsburgh done some awfully good things, but one thing they've not been able to do in this half is put much pressure on Brady Quinn. And he's had excellent pass protection.
38 seconds now on the clock. Still with 3 timeouts. 3rd down and 20, and now Notre Dame will use one of those timeouts to discuss this 3rd down and 20 play. Brady Quinn to the sideline. We'll be back right after these messages. And the Irish trailing Pittsburgh by 7, facing a 3rd down and 20 from their own 43-yard line.
Here's Matt Shelton. I make sure you watch out for him.
When rolling, the pocket rolls with him. Sets his feet, fires a strike over the head of McKnight and incomplete. So 4th down and 20 with 31 ticks left. And we're about to see the first punt of the game. Nope. We did have him one earlier.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick had one.
Oh, yeah.
This is his second. I don't
His
think
second punt.
Pittsburgh has not punted, right?
Pittsburgh's not punted. Lost a fumble the first possession and then scored every other. So the second punt of the day for DJ Fitzpatrick. And the low snap. I recall the first one was low as well. Richardson says stay away from it, and Fitzpatrick, boy, he's a master at that, isn't he?
He has had a sensational year backing people up.
51 yards and out of bounds inside the 10. He told us when it leaves his foot, he knows which way it's going to bounce. That one bounced laterally out of bounds. Great job by Fitzpatrick. Coming to NBC Monday, the $25 million hoax, NBC's newest reality show. One woman's got just 5 days to pull off the biggest hoax in television history. The $25 million hoax premieres Monday, 10/9 Central on NBC.
I expect Tyler Packel to take a knee and go into the halftime up 28-21.
And why not?
Yeah, they have played beautifully on offense. You know, as we said, no punts. They've thrown the ball all over the field, particularly well to the wide receiver, Greg Lee. But surprisingly to me, they've run the ball pretty well.
Palco takes a knee on what should likely be the last play of the half. A half that has seen the Pitt Panthers score at will on the Irish. And all but once, the Irish have been able to answer. Ty Willingham goes to the locker room in the final home game of the season, trailing the Pittsburgh Panthers by 7. Into the first half at Notre Dame Stadium. Pitt leading 28-21. Now stay tuned for the Lexus halftime show with Jimmy Roberts right after these messages and a word from your local NBC station. Well, 49 total points, 534 yards of total offense combined in that first half. Who would have guessed?
Well, a defensive coordinator's nightmare the first half was. But, you know, Notre Dame was as good as they have been all year on offense. But, boy, Pittsburgh managed them drive for drive and touchdown for touchdown and one-upped them.
I think there was a smoke coming out of the adding machine for these serious halftime stats. With a lot of offense in that first half on both sides.
Look at the yards per play, Tom. You know, 6.7 for Pittsburgh. Notre Dame almost 8 yards per play. Relatively even statistics, but I think Tyler Palco was just remarkable. 15 of 22 in the first half, completed 68% of his passes, and a lot of those completions were for touchdowns. I mean, he threw 4 touchdowns in the first half. A couple of them under duress. This was his first to Kinder. Again, really, as he was going down to Biukas, his tight end, who caught 2 of them, gave Greg Lee an opportunity to jump up and catch it as he did there. And then Biukas catches his second one. So he has just been incredibly efficient with the football.
And Tyler finished with a hot hand, hitting 9 of his last 10 for 136 yards. He threw 4 touchdown passes in the first half. No quarterback has ever pitched 5 touchdown passes in a game against Notre Dame.
Well, and that's what Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, has got to figure out a way to slow him down. One thing is they've got to rush him a lot better. And, you know, the other guy who had a pretty good first half was Darius Walker for Notre Dame. They really, you know, got the team started when they needed some help. A 4th down run, they got the ball into the end zone for their first touchdown. That kind of ignited a pretty good offensive showing for him in the first half. Great cutback there to get in for a second touchdown. And then a long run with that vision, and the cutback and the speed again. So, and this set up their 3rd touchdown. So we scored 2 and set up a 3rd.
All right, so we head to the 3rd quarter with the Panthers leading the Irish 28-21. And Darius Walker with 8 rushes and 64 yards in that first half, including the 2 touchdowns.
Please join us in another round of applause.
And let's go to the sideline, check in with Lewis Johnson.
All right, thanks, Tom. I talked with Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, as he came down the tunnel, and I said, is this possibly that post-Tennessee letdown that you might have been afraid of? And he really shook his head. He was sort of struggling to find an answer, but he said they're just not making the types of plays that he expects his defense to play. I asked Ty Willingham if he thinks it's a post-Tennessee type deal. He says, I don't know if it's that or if it's the weeping senior day problem, but he said whatever it is, the defense, in particular the cornerbacks, have to step up, make the types of plays they've made all season. They're expecting a different half here in the last home game for many of these seniors. Tom?
All right, Lewis, as Walt Harris looks over his game plan, which has been excellent on offense so far. And While we have a moment, Pat, happy 50th birthday to John Heisler, the Notre Dame Sports Information Director, and also congratulations to Tony Roberts with his final home game, broadcasting the Notre Dame games on Westwood One Radio. A couple of milestones reached today.
What, his 25th year broadcasting?
25th year.
Yeah. You know, just following up on Lewis's report, I look at some statistics for Notre Dame. They missed 10 tackles, which is really uncharacteristic for Kent Baer's defensive players. You know, the corners were victimized clearly in the first half. They have had that problem most of this year, but it's the missed tackles, I think, as he watches the tape tomorrow, it's going to be of a real concern as well to Coach Baer.
Of course, Pittsburgh with a big advantage when they send Greg Lee in height against the cornerbacks of Notre Dame, which has been a big factor.
Pittsburgh on third down, 8 of 9. And the only time they failed on third down, they converted on fourth down.
Right. DJ Fitzpatrick now is lined up to kick off. Rinkus kicked off in the first half, but it's going to be Fitzpatrick here to kick. And it's a squibber. Caught on the fly by Marcus Furman. Furman turned around and hauled down, but a good return to the 30-yard line. Freddie Parrish Jr. on the tackle for Notre Dame on special teams.
Well, the first thing I think Notre Dame is going to have to do is get some pass rush on Tyler Palko. The pass rush usually comes for Justin Tuck, and he's been battling Rob Pentiti, and Rob Pentiti's done a pretty good job, and he has been really on fire the last 3 games. Palko.
Last 3 games, 70 for 107. How
about the touchdown interception ratio, 10 to 1? You know, 2 to 1, maybe 3 to 1 is incredible, but 10 to 1.
Kirkley on the first carry of the second half. Met at the line of scrimmage, kept his feet, kept churning, and got back and maybe gained a yard. It doesn't look very good in the books, but quite an effort by Kirkley to keep from losing ground on that one.
We said that the defense missed 10 tackles in the first half. I think Buddensack, number 92, had the first shot at him. And Kirkley just kind of spins out of 2 tackles there. There's 3, 4, 5, and finally the 6th player, Greg Pauly, I think, got it.
Yep. So second down and 9. Play action fake. Palko scrambling, and he has a lane down the sideline. Goes one-on-one and is tackled by Derek Curry at the 35-yard line.
Derek Curry has had an all-around good year.
That's Greg Pauly.
Well, there's a guy who's had another good year. Another guy who's had a good year for them.
8 of 5 on the last play.
Greg Pauly, who is playing his final game at Notre Dame Stadium.
And you talk to Kent Baer, you ask him, hey, who are the guys that have played well for you all year? The first guy off his lips the last couple of weeks has been Greg Pauly.
We talked to him earlier in the year, the former Wisconsin Defensive Player of the Year from Waukesha, the same hometown as the Hom brothers, Paul and Morgan, the U.S. gymnasts.
Just done a little stunt inside. Gets picked up by the back. Didn't look too bad there.
Well, they tend to Greg Pauly. We'll take a break. 14:01 to go, third quarter, 7-point Pitt lead. And with a 3rd and 4, Notre Dame's going to rush 3 with 6 defensive backs. Tyler Palko hit as he released, and it's incomplete. They got pressure on him that time. Intended for Del Sardo.
Yeah, and just like last week against Tennessee, 3-man rush, they still get pressure on him. He can't be right in the face of his defensive corner, Preston Jackson. Actually looking at had pretty good coverage, but 3-man rush again. Buddensack getting right in the face of Palko. It was amazing. Last week against Tennessee, they had 5 sacks. 2 of them came in just a 3-man rush, and they caused an interception out of a 3-man rush as well.
Adam Greshel to punt for the first time today. Carlisle Holiday awaits it. First punt of the game for Pittsburgh. Greshel booms. Holiday backs up to his 12-yard line. Carlisle Holiday trying to get behind the blockers in his final home appearance at Notre Dame Stadium. Holiday down the sideline and finally stopped inside the 20-yard line. Carlisle Holiday, the subject of our halftime feature, racing down the sideline. Malcolm Postell prevented the touchdown. Nice block by Travis Thomas as he got behind the wall for 71 yards.
You know, Tom, I've just been waiting for him to break out all season long. And he picked up a couple of good blocks. Could have been a block in the back there, was not called, but in great blocking down the sideline here. Thomas made a good block.
Parrish made one for a moment, and then Postell saved the touchdown.
And here's a guy you like to root for. You know, the most unselfish player on this team. You know, was demoted at quarterback. Students asked for him to, be basically fired. Just kind of kept his cool, and in a classy way, just did everything he could as a receiver.
Powers Neal, touchdown. Flag down.
I think it's excess celebration.
Probably for a celebration penalty. But Brady Quinn made an excellent fake, put the ball on his hip, rolled out, and found Rashawn Powers Neal wide open.
Yeah, you're right, Tom. Great play action fake. He's done this all season long, and twice they've run the fullback. One time Schmidt, this time Powers Neal. Both times fullbacks wide open again in the flat for an easy touchdown.
Cestus celebration, number 16 on Notre Dame.
That interaction with the band is what drew him the flag.
Guy, you just can't have much fun in college anymore, can you? I mean, you score a touchdown, try to tie the game up, you jump into the tuba section, you get in trouble.
Powers Neal.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Notre Dame. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Powers Neal, the senior from St. Paul, Minnesota, but one of those seniors, one of the 18 that can petition for another year of eligibility. It would be his 5th year at Notre Dame. He is a senior, but has 1 year of eligibility left. Here's the swinging gate and the extra point attempt from Fitzpatrick. Angled it up, barely. Got it through. Fitzpatrick has missed only 1 extra point this season, but that was a costly one against Boston College. But Notre Dame strikes to open the second half, and they've tied it at 28. Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Lewis Johnson, with David Gibson, our producer, John Gonzalez, our director. Final appearance at Notre Dame Stadium this season for the 24th ranked Irish, who just have tied the game with Pitt at 28. DJ Fitzpatrick will kick off again. Here's that last play.
Yeah, really kind of a cute little play. Watch the fullback just come right here in the flat. The wide receiver runs deep, and there's no linebacker or corner there, so that's a well-scouted play, and then perfectly executed by the Irish.
Fitzpatrick will kick off again, replacing Rankus here in the second half. His first kick was sort of a wobbler.
Well, they got 15 yards back because of the penalty, so they should get a good field position, Pittsburgh.
Yep. The celebration penalty. Here's Furman. Marcus Furman almost to midfield, caught from behind. But another good return by Marcus Furman, and so excellent field position. In Duke way, caught Furman as Tyler Palco comes out with good field position this time, starting at the Pittsburgh 49-yard line.
Rather gaudy numbers, and he did as many good things, kind of managing the game as we've talked about as well. There's Walt Harris, his head coach and quarterback coach. They spend a lot of time on the sidelines together, and the defense is on the field.
Palco chased, eludes the rush from Tuck, and then finds Del Sardo for a short gain on the play, about 5 or 6 yards.
Hey, one adjustment that Kent Barrett just made is they're double covering Greg Lee on that play, and I think you're going to see a lot of that. Force Joe Del Sardo to beat you, because Greg Lee had short and long coverage, safety over the top on him, and much, much tighter coverage than he had in the first half. I mean, he was jumping up with really just one guy guarding him on most of those plays. Look at that, 19 yards a catch. His average is going down on the yards per catch.
One of the national leaders in yards per catch. Here's an attempted cutback by Tim Murphy and cut off by Derek Landry and his friends on the defense. Justin Tuck got a piece of it too. So a loss in the play. It'll bring up 3rd and long for the Panthers.
Well, 2 good defensive series to begin this half for the Irish. And they've been so stout against the run all year long. 5 teams they've held under 100 yards. And in particular, Derek Landry makes it awfully tough to run it up the middle.
See if Justin Tuck is getting revved up now in an obvious passing down.
It was right down here.
Petiti does a pretty good job on Tuck. Palco, though, chased from the pocket and stopped at the line of scrimmage by Mike Goolsby and Derek Landry.
Yeah, Derek Landry again just kept working, kept spinning, and then finally gets the sack on Tyler Palco. And you're right, Rob Petiti, number 78, does a real good job on Justin Tuck. But good coverage down the field. See a three-man rush. So 8 guys in coverage, nobody open. So here's a defensive judgment, change of pace in the second half. A lot more three-man rush, 8 guys covering, and double teaming Greg Lee. Good defensive adjustment by Kent Bear.
Greshel to punt to Holiday. Set it high. Holiday takes it. No fair catch called. And sets right up the middle. Another good return for the senior to the 35-yard line. Horn makes the stop on special teams. A gain of 22 on the return. 11:01 left. Notre Dame has made some good defensive adjustments so far. Game tied.
A little bit like you, Tom, on the on-cameras.
Yeah, that's sort of edging you out of the way like that. Yeah.
Did I say plural?
Notre Dame gives the ball to Walker, and Darius Walker downfield. Another big gain for the freshman out of bounds at the 35-yard line of Pitt. A gain of 29 yards with blocks from Shelton and McKnight downfield.
That put him very close to the 100-yard mark on the day. And again, he's had a lot of different kind of runs. I mean, we saw a great cutback for a touchdown. Good, nice little cutback there, too. You see some pretty good speed, maybe better speed. You know, he changes the ball position so he doesn't risk a fumble. So it's a smart play as well. We've seen some excellent cuts out of him. And the cuts really start with good vision, good sight.
Averaging over 10 yards a carry today. First down Irish, 34-yard line of Pitt. Notre Dame has come out, been excellent on both sides of the ball here in the third quarter, as Walker stopped after a short gain that time by Session and Postel.
Yeah, you know, this Pittsburgh defense needs to kind of change the momentum for the Panthers side of the ball. And the Notre Dame has really taken the momentum in the second half. Defensively, they really started as usual for the Irish. But Brady Quinn's got him going now.
Second down and 8. Fasano in motion. Hand off to Walker, bouncing to the outside, spinning his way.
You know, that looked like maybe what, a 1-yard gain. He turned it into 4, 5 maybe.
Malcolm Postel stopped him, but you're right. It's been an exciting addition to the running back core of the Irish this season. The freshman from Georgia who didn't play in the first game, the loss to BYU.
You know, they're just starting to feed him the ball a lot more in the second and the third quarter, and boy, it's been the right thing to do. I mean, he's been so incredibly efficient when you're giving him chances, including last week against Tennessee.
Ryan Grant now at the tailback spot. Quinn. Crossing route. Did he get there too early and draw a flag? It's intercepted.
Yeah.
Josh Lay's second interception of the game.
Boy, it sure
Quinn
was.
finally caught him. I thought it was
pass interference. Josh Lay intercepted Brady Quinn's first pass, and then that pass right there as Quinn comes limping off too, and Josh Lay is slow getting up.
Quinn had to make the tackle. 35-yard return, and as you mentioned, Lay down on the Pitt sideline.
Josh Lay had an 82-yard return for a touchdown.
Tez Morris hitting the receiver, giving Lay a shot right at the ball for his second pickoff of the game.
Well, let's look at the play again. Number 20 is Tez Morris, right? That's interference.
No question on Shelton.
Should absolutely be pass interference.
So the boos rain down here at Notre Dame Stadium as Pitt takes over inside the Irish 40. Play action fake. Palco out of the backfield, dropped by Cherno.
Well, the Irish have had their share of open fullbacks in the flat. Pittsburgh has tried it. That time it did not work. There's Dwight Ellick. Let's take a look at the end of the play a moment ago where Brady Quinn had to make the tackle. The one guy they can least afford to lose is Brady Quinn. They both come up limping.
2nd and 10. Palco sacked. Buddensack.
You know, a local writer called him Old Faithful. It's probably a good moniker for Kyle Buddensack. In his senior year, his last home game here, Tom, one of those seniors that will not be coming back. And, you know, he's gotten better and better as the season's come along. Just, he's done everything the coaches ask of him. You ask him to stop the run, he'll do. You ask him to play special teams, ask to rush the passer. And another excellent student himself.
Finance major who has a degree in finance. Boy, did Kent Baer make some good adjustments or what?
4-man rush this time.
Palco sets up a screen, complete to Murphy, and nothing there. Got only a couple of yards, and the defense is fired up as Justin Tuck chased him down just as he did against the Volunteers a week ago on the screen.
That's exactly right. The hustle play we showed at the very beginning of the game. Justin Tuck rushing the passer here, feels the screen, and then makes the hustle play to put the stop on him. So 3 good defensive series this half by the Irish.
Looked like that they chased the imposters out of the stadium and put on their jerseys and came out to play as we expected.
Isn't that amazing? They gave up 28 points in the first half. No block there.
Holiday fields it on the hop. Stopped in his tracks at the 20-yard line. But another good defensive series for the Irish after they had turned the ball over. Freddie Parrish made that almost block. Irish had the ball.
It's been a real nice change of pace. I think Kent Baer brought it. Used some 3-man line, then he came back with 4-man line, over short and over the top on Greg Lee, forced them to go to some other places. They put more pressure on him. So a much different defensive team from the Irish in the second half.
Play action fake on 1st down. Brady Quinn's going deep. Hit as he released. Way down there intended for who else? Matt Shelton, who was getting deep again on Mike Phillips, but Quinn took a shot just as he released the ball.
We talk about the adjustments they made. Look what happened in the first half. Pittsburgh averaged almost 7 yards a play. The punter didn't even make it on the field. In the second half, you see what they're doing. They've 3 punts. So we always talk about a game of adjustments, and Notre Dame at halftime have made some significant ones, particularly on defense.
2nd down and 10 from the Irish 20. Hand it to Ryan Grant. Grant met at the 25, makes it to the 27 before Session gets him down. It's going to bring up 3rd down for the Irish.
Ryan Grant's always gotten his yards at Notre Dame, the old-fashioned way by earning them. He doesn't have a lot of 40, 50-yard type of runs like you've seen from Darius Walker, but boy, he's just a tough runner that generally doesn't go down after that first hit. You know exactly what you're going to get when you hand him the ball, and that's generally 120% effort.
Right. 3rd down and 2. 2 tight ends, Fasano and Palmer. Grant on the pitch, following Powers. Neal cuts it up, has the 1st down.
Yeah, that's a smart run by Ryan Grant. He knew it was 3rd and 2, and there wasn't any early penetration, so he was just going to wait and be a patient run. And as soon as he saw a little bit of a gap, turn the shoulders, boom, runs right upfield and picks up a 1st. Watch the patience here. Going to wait and sees it, then cut it, hit that right foot and go. Good block by Dan Stevenson, Mark LaVore, John Sullivan.
Gives the Irish, Pat, 1st down at the 34. 2 fakes. Quinn, the screen to Walker. Walker with a cutback. Broke a tackle. Trying to find a blocker and then buried at the 38-yard line. J.J. Horn was the man that got him first.
The third conventional screen here that we've seen today. Twice they faked the little reverse to Matt Shelton, and then you're going to see a little screen out here. One of these times they're going to hand it to Matt Shelton or throw it to him over here. But this time they come back. This really should have gained a little bit more yardage than it did. But, a bunch of Pitt Panthers were hustling. Some guys who were rushing the passer actually ended up making the play. See, Mountain Shelton, it's the second time they've run that fake reverse, and the third conventional screen that the Irish have run today.
And off to Ryan Grant. Plowing ahead, trying to make the first down, will be a little short.
They're mashing pretty good this second half, too. This offensive line, who's done a good job of giving Brady Quinn protection and now kind of really creating some opportunities for Darius Walker and Ryan Grant.
Pretty good balance for the Irish. 345 total yards. The Pitt Panthers been most productive through the air, but cut off completely in all departments so far here in the third quarter with 4:52 and counting. Pitch it to Walker. Walker hit behind the line and stopped on third down. A key defensive series for the Panthers.
I think it was Sessions that was in there and Dan Stevens.
And Krachunas got some too, I think. So that was a key play. There's big Dan Stevens.
As he makes the play, type 1 diabetic. We talked about him a couple of years ago as Dan Stevens.
Right, and has been very inspirational talking to youngsters who have diabetes and saying, use me as an example. You don't have to let go of your dreams. You can realize all your dreams even if you are a diabetic. Checks his blood sugar about 15 times a day, even during a game. Richardson sees it bounce, picks it up on the hop, and slapped to the ground.
Well, once again, DJ Fitzpatrick, he just aims for those numbers. We were talking to him yesterday about his punting style and what he's trying to do. He's been so effective this year pinning teams in the corner. So he gets that ball and he aims for the numbers. That ball ran right over the numbers and forces the Panthers to go 95 yards for a touch.
Game tied at 28 with 3:55 to go third quarter. Greg Pauly, who was shaken up earlier in this quarter, back out on the field for the Irish defense as Pitt puts it in play from its own 13-yard line. Kirkley, nothing doing. Dragged down from behind by Brandon Hoyt.
Now, Walt Harris is going to have to make some changes, too.
And we were talking about Dan Stevens, the defensive tackle, the academic All-American for Pitt, the type 1 diabetic who checks his blood sugar 15 times a day, including during games. And as we watched a few minutes ago, while we were away in commercial, there he is checking his blood sugar with a little kit he carries with him and keeps under the bench. And again, his message to youngsters who have diabetes is, this doesn't have to be an inhibiting force for your dreams. You can accomplish anything you want to despite diabetes. There's Gill, the tight end, who has a big reception and the initial first down of the second half for the Pitt Panthers. It covers 22 yards before Mike Goolsby makes the tackle.
Tom, what about the day that Dan Stevens has? You talk about an excellent student. He is an academic All-American. As we talked to him this week, he said this is kind of what a typical day for him. Wakes up, checks the blood sugar one of the 15 times, as you mentioned. Gets some schoolwork done, a lot of treatment and lifting, classes, more lifting, practice, training, and studies till about 1:30 in the morning.
Obviously doesn't need much sleep. Kirkley on the sweep. Got a block at the point of attack and made a nice run out of it. Still going across the 45 to the 47-yard line. On first down, a 9-yard gain. Hoyt and Ellick the tackle. Auburn with a 17-0 halftime lead on Georgia in that big SEC game. Michigan State ahead of Wisconsin, and Cal leads Washington.
I'll tell you, one of the things that, as I said, surprised me a little bit is how well the Panthers have run the football, and really a powerful run by Raymond Kirkley. Walt Harris was saying to us this week, he's a guy that just plays hard, runs hard, and he doesn't fumble the ball.
The famous Hayden Jenks in play as Murphy gets the call and is stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Well, that's the third time they've run Murphy from the fullback position with no lead blocker. They've gained an inch with that call.
Might want to ditch that play.
Just hasn't seemed to work. Yeah, but Walt Harris has coached some great receivers that we've talked about. He's had receivers catch, 54 receivers have had 100-yard receiving days since he's been at Pitt. He's coached a couple of Biletnikoff winners and had an all-Big East receiver every single year. That may be the next one right there. Greg Lee
leads the Big East currently. In the first half, Pitt converted 8 of 9 third downs. They're 0 for 3 in this second half. Third down and a yard. Is Palco changing the play? Got it away. No, he did not. Flag down. That might be delay of game.
Well, you just cannot have a delay in game in third and short. And I know Tyler Palco has managed the game particularly well, but he tried to call an audible.
Fire snap. Delay of game. Pittsburgh. 5-yard penalty.
That's why I always think
third down.
You need to be out of the huddle and have a good 12 to 14 seconds if you're a team that likes to audible.
Well, the Pitt offense, so sparkling in the first half, has been dull as can be in the second.
That's a critical mistake right there. Go from third and inches to third and a little over 5.
6 defensive backs on for the Irish.
Here's Greg Lee, but he's going to get double teamed up here. One guy short, one guy behind him.
Palco at midfield. Another flag comes in. Could be interference on Eric Gill.
And it was Mike Richardson, if they call it on Gill, number 30.
Ty Willingham's going to argue his case. It's holding, it looks like. Defensive holding on Richardson.
Holding on the defense. Number 30. 10-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Automatic. First down.
Mike Richardson struggled, remember, against Boston College a little while ago right there. I don't think that's a push right there. I don't think that's a hold or a push. But they called it.
They called a hold. Could it have occurred earlier than we saw there?
No,
because I agree, it didn't look like anything there.
You're right. It may have been earlier.
If it had been there, if the infraction had been there, it'd been interference, wouldn't it? Because the ball was in the air.
That's right. It wasn't a hold.
So from the 48, Pitt gets the first down on the penalty. Palco scrambling right up the middle. Slides down short of the 40-yard line. Covered there by Brandon Hoyt.
Well, that was one time he had Greg Lee open. Greg Lee was running a big old dig route when those square ends at 20 yards. If he just could have held the ball a moment longer, Greg Lee has a chance to catch it across the grain and maybe a long run after the catch.
Clock rolling with 30 seconds left in the quarter. Changing the play again. Kirkley made it about a yard gain and not much more in what will likely be the final play of the third quarter.
On their best drive of the third quarter.
And the third quarter does come to a close. At the end of 3, Notre Dame and Pittsburgh tied at 28. We'll return to Notre Dame after these messages from your local NBC station. Notre Dame tradition, the Notre Dame students, including the cheerleaders, forming the W with their hands as the playing of the 18-12 overture marks the end of the third and beginning of the fourth quarter. After all the offensive fireworks in the first half, only one touchdown scored in the third quarter, that by Notre Dame. Palco on third down, chased, Tuck can't get him, but he's twisted down by Budenzack. His second sack of the game. Here's a flag down. And Palco signaling a hold against the Irish. Let's see. It is.
Well, I was watching Rob Petitti, the left tackle for Pittsburgh, against Justin Tuck, who's they've had a good battle really for 3 straight years. And
Petitti saying the best he faces.
Absolutely.
Holding on the defense. Number 24. 10-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. First down.
These corners have had a rough day. Would you agree?
Oh. That's the understatement of the day. And another penalty gives Pittsburgh another first down. That one on Dwight Ellick.
If they aren't getting out jumped for a ball, they're creating a penalty and an automatic first down. So Justin Tuck and Rob Petitti have been really locked in a terrific battle. Petitti said, you're right, they played him 3 straight years, and last year Justin Tuck got 2 sacks in the quarterback and said he's the toughest guy I play, right down here.
Fake the toss. Palco finds Del Sardo. Keeps his balance to the 16-yard line.
When Tyler Palco is in rhythm, when he gets that 3-step drop and gets rid of the ball, boy, he is incredibly accurate.
Easy for Del Sardo to put a hand down and keep his balance. He's only 5'8", running close to the ground.
Talked about 68 inches, but, you know, disciplined route runner, catches almost everything, although he dropped the touchdown in the first half.
Toss it to Furman.
That was a delicate run. He should have gotten more out of that run, don't you think?
I think so. He only got a couple yards.
Looked like there was a pretty good hole on the right side.
Zibikowski and Hoyt, credit for the tackle, but he was just sort of feeling his way instead of letting it rip.
You know, it looks like you got a couple of blockers out in front. There's a hole right there. Zibikowski just kind of jumps around the guy to make a stop.
Second down and 8. Ball spotted at the Notre Dame 15. Palco decides to keep it and dives to the 7-yard line. It'll be short of the first down.
So he is a strong runner, isn't he? And he's elusive for a quarterback as well.
He is. He has quick feet.
Yeah, absolutely. 220 pounds, and he just makes he can buy himself some time in the pocket. Sometimes Walt Harris was saying to us, he runs out of the pocket a little too early, but not that time.
Joe Flacco, the backup quarterback, signaling in the play from Walt Harris, who calls all the plays, to Tyler Palco. It's a 3rd down and 2. Palco throws it nowhere. In fact, Greg Lee broke inside. The pass went outside.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be one of those smash routes they call, where you come in, you fake the slant, and you come back outside. But Greg Lee may have slipped.
It appears as if Palco could have run for the 2 yards. Well, we don't see it here.
I think he thinks he has a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly he saw him coming back outside, and Greg Lee was definitely running a slant. So there was a miscommunication there for sure.
So Josh Cummings will attempt the field goal. It will be the first field goal attempt today by either team. It's a 27-yard attempt. Up and good. Cummings now has hit 13 of 18 field goal attempts this season as the Panthers regain the lead. 12:41 left in this one. 31-28 Panthers. Ty Willingham giving the official an earful. Don't exactly know what his complaint was.
I think he's talking about some of the holding calls that were called against the Irish.
Right.
2 of them.
Campbell returning the Gresham kickoff and breaking free for the moment. Caught from behind, but a good return for Carlos Campbell. First time he's seen that duty this season, I believe.
He's done a nice job, and the Panthers have been awful on kicker coverage the last 2 weeks.
Bryant with a special teams tackle, a gain of 38 on the return.
Syracuse, lit him up. 3 big returns, and Campbell, he broke this one. He nearly broke 2 others. So they're trying to find the right mix in the return game, because they really haven't all year long. The Irish haven't been very good in the returning game, but they've had a good punt return today from Cardell Holiday, and Campbell's made a difference on the kickoff return.
Irish begin their drive from their own 47-yard line. Play action fake to Walker. Quinn rolls in pursuit and throws it away at the feet of Raymond McKnight.
Brady Quinn, though he didn't like that throw, he started the day behind all these guys, 2 yards behind Joe Montana. That's pretty heady company, don't you think?
Indeed.
Single season passing. Admittedly, they're throwing the ball a lot more these days.
Sophomore from Dublin, Ohio, Kaufman High School Shamrocks.
Almost up to Joe Thiesman.
Not Theismann, but Thiesman.
Well, when he was here, it was Thiesman.
No, I know that. But
Well, I guess they changed his name. That year, 1970, they did.
It was Roger Baldessari, the legendary SID, wasn't it, that made that change? Darius Walker, another nice run. Twisting, turning, cutting back, gain of 8.
He seems to make the right cut, doesn't he, Tom?
Does. He just has that instinct, and as you've said several times, that vision.
Yeah, you watch him when he settles in back in the I formation. I've watched him a bunch on tape. He settles back in, and he really, before the ball is snapped, he is really surveying the defense. And I think he gets a very good pre-snap read. You talk about quarterbacks having a pre-snap look. I think he gets a very good pre-snap look and has a feel where the hole's going to be.
And with Walker over 100 today, it looks good for Notre Dame, at least judging by past history. With 1 second to go, they got the play off. Ryan Grant. Well, they needed a couple for the first down, and it will be close.
Talk about an inexact science. I think spotting the ball may be the most inexact art. It's not even science, right?
You have to get the triangulation.
I have to refer to the book I picked up this week.
What was that? The name
From
of that?
Pythagoras to Einstein.
HB Blades.
You just wait for the movie, would you?
Smith,
Taking a measure. Clock shows 11:37. And the Irish find themselves down 3. There's the measurement. And it will be first down, Notre Dame. Already today, the Irish Gator Bowl hopes took a hit with Boston College upsetting West Virginia in Morgantown. Both those teams went out. It appears Boston College would go to the BCS, and West Virginia would have 9 wins. And it'll be up to Notre Dame to at least come up with 8 somehow or other.
West Virginia plays Pitt on Thanksgiving night.
Yep, that's the final game for the Mountaineers. McKnight.
Only second catch of the day for Raymond McKnight.
What about those Big East standings with Boston College, which pulled out the win here at Notre Dame Stadium, going to Morgantown and handing West Virginia its first conference loss today. But the Mountaineers are 8-2 with 1 game against Pitt remaining.
And, you know, Ty Willingham was talking to us about the bowl position yesterday, and clearly, you know, he needs to win this game to try to get himself in a Gator Bowl position, if at all possible. But he said, you know, getting to a bowl game makes you one of the most successful teams. It helps your recruiting, and particularly if you get a January 1st bowl.
All that Darius Walker hit hard. No gain on the play. Yeah, you get all the practice for your younger players, and but the main thing is maybe, too, he said perception that not only recruits, but everybody, fans all across the college football world perceive you as a successful team, a successful season when you make it to a bowl, even though there are about 1 million bowls these days.
Actually, they're just slightly less than that. But I think anything after December 30th, the bowl, you know, 30th, 31st, or the 1st, you're pretty good company. Big third down for the Irish.
Oh, man, under pressure. Had to unload it.
Good change of pace by Paul Rhodes, the defensive coordinator. They have not blitzed Brady Quinn much today. But, boy, off the corner, J.J. Horn, tooting his horn.
Yeah.
Good call.
That could have been called grounding, I think, too, because he wasn't outside the box, and it didn't reach the line of scrimmage.
There were 3 linebackers in the face of Brady Quinn. Takes another shot. I tell you what, Brady Quinn is one tough guy. He's taken a lot of hits all year long, keeps bouncing back up.
So Fitzpatrick will punt.
And he is a great directional punter. Aims for the numbers.
Little pooch punt, try to down it.
This one is the pooch. Oh,
there it is.
Pooch.
Perfect.
Unbelievable.
What a weapon. You couldn't run it down the field and drop it where you wanted and get it that good.
Nice little 9-iron.
Time after time after time. Tom Hamlin, Pat Hayden, Lewis Johnson. Final home game for the Irish. And they're in a battle with the Pitt Panthers, who lead it 31-28. DJ Fitzpatrick with another excellent punt. Fitzpatrick from nearby Mishawaka, the walk-on, awarded a scholarship. He's been great, and he is one of those seniors that can petition for another year of eligibility. Would you welcome him back?
Absolutely. You talk about a field position maker. There's your guy right there.
None of his punts have been returned today. Kirkley.
You talk about adjustments again. Very late there in that run. I mean, Kent Baird kind of looked like he was going to play back in coverage, and then very late he shifted up 8 men up to very close to the line of scrimmage, shutting down the run. So
Palco had no chance to audible.
Exactly. I mean, he's made some good audibles in the first half, but you know, Kent Baird just counteracts by that by shifting so late. There's a guy that's had a remarkable 3 seasons as a defensive coordinator here.
Mentioned for some head coaching jobs, including his alma mater, Utah State.
Should be.
From his own end zone, Palco's pass. Short hops Del Sardo.
This is as important a third down as there has been for Pittsburgh thus far. Up by 3 points, you know, if you don't get to pick up this first down, you're going to give Notre Dame great field position. So he had Del Sardo open over the middle. Palco has not missed often, but he did that time. You know, Greg Lee, I don't think he's caught a pass this second half. He's been shut out. 5 catches for 95 yards in the first. Absolutely shut out in the second half. He's in the slot.
Double coverage most of the half. Palco with protection. Pass on target, but short. No.
Dropped it.
Dropped it. It came loose from Greg Lee.
Yeah, he would have been short of the first down marker had he even held on to it. Yeah, that's a really big play by Kent Baird's defense. Now, I don't think they'll go for a punt block. Watch, even if he catches this ball, I think he gets tackled just short of the first down. I think that was Preston Jackson who stripped him of the ball. He's going to give Carlisle Holiday a chance. Generally, you want 15 yards between the snapper and when your punter accepts the ball, and that's exactly at 14 yards.
Wrestle.
Oof.
Boots it away. Holiday about midfield. Couple stutter steps, then lowers his head. Taken down after a return of 10. The punt covered 46.
Yeah, it was a good punt, too. You know, into those numbers. Pin a guy into the boundary. Use the boundary as another defender.
Tyler Palco, after the spectacular first half, sputtering a little in the second, but they still have the lead. Notre Dame takes over. Excellent field position. 42-yard line of the Panthers. Hand it to Darius Walker. Spinning for 5 yards. Stopped by Smith, Thomas Smith. Oklahoma's Adrian Peterson has been all over the news this year, but before the SI Cover Boys suited up with the Sooners, he took to the field in last year's U.S. Army All-American Bowl. You can see the stars of the future in the U.S. Army All-American Bowl on January 15th here on NBC. Brady Quinn played in the 2003 game.
Quarterback out of Syracuse, Greg Paulus, recruited by everybody as a quarterback, scheduled to play in the game.
Walker. Stopped short of the 35-yard line, bringing up a third down for the Irish.
You know, one of the things about the Irish, I think they need to develop that you know, kind of a finishing a game off. At some point in this parts of the game, they just seem to play it a little too conservatively. Certainly did against Boston College toward the end of the game. Comes Matt Shelton, and he's nothing conservative about his play.
3rd and 3. You don't want to squander this field position if you can help it. In fact, it might be 4-down territory in this.
There's nobody behind him.
Going deep, wide open. Shelton, touchdown!
I tell you, that is
beautiful play. They faked the screen.
Exactly. They did that earlier in the year against, I think it was against Purdue. They run the bubble screen, and then they fake the bubble screen, and then Shelton goes deep. So great call by Bill Dietrich, the offensive coordinator. Wonderful execution, and Notre Dame goes up on top. Run this play twice, both times for touchdowns this year.
Another touchdown for Shelton. 36 yards this time from Brady Quinn. Fitzpatrick's point after. He is good.
Kick is good. Remain 35.
And the Irish bounce back on top thanks to another big play from Matt Shelton. 35-31. Congratulations, the senior who can come back for another year from Collierville, Tennessee. His mom said he could walk before he could run. No, the other way around, run before he could walk.
Yeah, he's still running and running by people.
Fitzpatrick. Kirkley still on his feet. Crosses the 30 to the 32-yard line. And back to Matt Shelton, the man who could run before he could walk.
I tell you, this was really a well set up play. First of all, watch the pump fake. There's the fake to the bubble screen right there. And then over the top, Revis 25 got fooled. He was going to go up and cover the screen. Then they ran about 6 plays earlier. But watch Shelton. He's here. He fakes block and then right up the field. The fake screen there. And just a perfect play. I mean, they've had incredible success both on the bubble screen and on the the fake screen, throw the ball over the top.
Shelton 3 receptions for 128 yards, his second career 100-yard receiving game.
I want to see him throw a quick out to him just once.
First down run by Kirkley. Pitt trying to catch him off guard maybe and got only a yard out of it. Tackled by Landry and Budenzack, who've done yeoman work up front for the Irish today.
It did, yeah. The defense has made some great adjustments. Offense has in the second half, but Kent Bear's defense. I mean, think about, we talked about Greg Lee. He's been shut out this half.
Irish enjoying their first lead since they were up 7-0. Palco out of the pocket with a lot of green in front. Tyler Palco racing out of bounds after picking up the first down.
One of the few times this half that Greg Lee did have single coverage.
But Palco made a nice run out of it.
Yeah, he sure did. The rush kind of prevented him from doing that. And that's why you combine that good pass rush with decent coverage in the backfield. But good vision, good decisions most of the day by Tyler Palco. Again, good speed, puts the ball in the right hand, trying to avoid the fumble. Does the right thing, getting out of bounds, picked up a first down as well.
Ball spotted right on the 45-yard line of the Panthers. Clock down to 6.5 minutes.
So here he is down here, Greg Lee. Over the top, double coverage on him.
Crossing pattern complete to Furman. Furman gets about 7 yards before Brandon Hoyt takes him down. As we take a look at our Hall's Fruit Breezers, screaming fans of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those guys get the prize.
Very strong, very strong.
For hat wear alone.
Yeah, well, with 67 points scored, 66, lots of time to scream, right?
Handoff, Furman. Running game continues to be tough for the Panthers. Goolsby in the center of things there. Spoke to Mike Goolsby yesterday before his final appearance at Notre Dame Stadium. He's a delightful guy. He had the big interception return for the touchdown last week. Remember him holding the ball out dangerously? Said he didn't even realize anybody else was there. And Kent Bear, his coach, getting on him, said, normally I say to a guy, act like you've been in the end zone before. He said, you never have. First touchdown he ever scored at any level of football. He was a tight end in high school.
Yeah, that shocked me.
Palco lines up. Well defended that time by Burrell, and now the flag.
Yeah, no, I think Burrell got there early.
Against Del Sardo, he doesn't think so, shaking his head. Got away with it for a beat or two before the flag came flying.
Well, this is at least the third penalty on defensive backs.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 49. Penalty of assess from the spot of the foul.
49.
Automatic. First down.
That's Derek Curry. I don't know about that. Neither does Kent Bear, huh?
3 defensive penalties and have kept drives alive on third downs.
Yeah.
Scored a field goal on the last one.
So first down at the 39-yard line. Panthers still alive. Approaching 5 minutes left in the game. Dump it off. Kirkley carrying tacklers with him to the 35-yard line. Curry finally got him down.
You know, I think they got the number wrong on the pass interference. I still think it was on Quentin Burrell and not Curry. Watch number 8 come over the top right there. A pretty good defensive play.
Yeah, I don't know. Close call.
Certainly was not on Curry.
Second down and 6. The Pitt Panthers have lost 6 straight here at Notre Dame Stadium. They trail 35-31. Play action fake. Palco going to keep it, then fires it over the head of Del Sardo.
Kind of rushed it. You know, he probably could have run for the first down.
I think he thought he was going to run. He was going so fast that he wasn't able to set his feet at all.
You're right. And at the last moment, he said, hey, I have a bigger play downfield, and just threw it over. He threw it 59 inches.
To the 58-inch Del Sardo.
Yeah.
Well, arms extended.
But he could have run for the first down. I think they're going to go, you know, they could use 2 downs to get these 6 yards.
6 defensive backs on for the Irish.
3-man rush.
Palco, he's going to run again. And this time he stops short of the first down by Abby Amiri.
I think you have to go for it here on 4th.
Clock shows just over 4 minutes. It's going to be down past 4 minutes.
It's interesting. Last week, Kent Bear had a 3-man defensive line for coverage. This week, he's running a 3-man defensive line so he can have one of his linebackers spy Tyler Palco to prevent big runs like they just did right there.
Unable to convert on 3rd down in the second half. Now here's a 4th down. They did convert a 4th down in the first half. 4th down and 4 from the Irish 33. Palco, is he going to run again? Goes one-on-one. Flips the ball, complete for the first down.
The far flip, as he calls it.
It's to Furman for the first down, unless he crossed the line of scrimmage. He was very close.
You know, Derek Curry was spying on Tyler Palco. You know, Derek Curry right here, he's got the quarterback. And he sees it, and he's just about to get to him, and he just flips it.
What a play.
Yeah.
First down, Pitt.
That is the 4th time that he has done this in the last 3 games. You know, some guys just have some magic about them, and Tyler Palco has some magic.
And you better be ready to catch the ball, too, or you might get hit in the head with it, huh?
Game-saving play.
First down, Pittsburgh. Notre Dame's 24-yard line. Clock at 3.5. Threw that one into traffic. Intended for Gill, who had fallen down, and 2 Irish defenders were closest to the ball, Goolsby and Curry.
How about that? You know, it's 4th and 4. Kent Bear's got, hey, I've got a spy technique. Derek Curry, an athletic linebacker, one-on-one with Tyler Palco, but you just can't defend the flip.
Great improvisation by Tyler Palco, the young Pittsburgh quarterback. Now 2nd and 10. Again to nobody. I don't know.
I was trying to throw a screen to Tim Murphy, and Tim Murphy kind of had to run a little wider than he anticipated. Good rush by Justin Tuck. I think made him throw it before he wanted.
So now 3rd down and 10.
Two plays. Here's the rush. Get a little inside move. He's got 4 different pass rushes. You just saw one of them.
Tuck comes out of the game. 6 defensive backs on. This is a big 3rd down and 10.
Back to the 3-man rush. The spy by the linebacker right there, Curry.
And a timeout called by Notre Dame. I think Tuck came out because he was a little shaken up, and they didn't know they didn't have but 10 men on the field.
Oh, that's a good defensive timeout then.
3:18 remaining as the Irish try to hold off the Panthers. Third down and 10 for the Pitt Panthers, trailing Notre Dame 35-31. Third and 10 from the Irish 24. Palko steps up, his pass intercepted and dropped. Mike Richardson had it, couldn't hold on. It'll be fourth down and 10.
We've talked about defensive backs struggling. This could have ended the game right there. Perfect throw if you're throwing it to Mike Richardson. He's going to refuse to catch it. Notre Dame, the last 2 weeks, has put pretty good pressure on the quarterback with just the three-man rush. And they can continue with a three-man rush. You know, again, one more time, that middle linebacker, Curry, is responsible. He is responsible for the quarterback.
Fourth down. Palko scrambling, looking, trying to find some space. Again, being chased and throws it, heaves it for the end zone, and it is intercepted by Zivakowski.
Penalty flag down, but I don't think that's against the Irish. I think it may have been offensive interference. Flag is definitely down.
It's against Notre Dame. Interference against Notre Dame.
Unbelievable.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 15. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic.
Yikes.
First down.
Preston Jackson.
You talk about it. You can't have a worse day than the corners have had today for Notre Dame. Penalty after penalty. Dropped interception a moment ago by Richardson would have ended the game. This time Preston Jackson, number 15, lower left corner, down here in the bottom.
I don't know.
He may have grabbed him.
May have.
Yeah.
In any event, it sets up a first and goal at the 9-yard line with an even 3 minutes on the clock. Draw play. Murphy, nothing doing.
You're not going to run it in on the Irish. You're going to have to throw the ball, or Palko is going to have to run it in.
Derek Curry first to hit him. 10 penalties now against Notre Dame, matches the season high for a season high 119 yards, and at critical times. See the timeout situation. Pittsburgh still with 3 in their pocket. 2.5 minutes.
Remember the dropped interception by Mike Richardson.
And Notre Dame calls a timeout.
Say one thing, if Pittsburgh scores, they're not going to have Notre Dame's not going to have a lot of timeouts, so they just used their second.
2:28 on the clock.
Well, we talked about Tyler Palko's unorthodox, unpredictable style from time to time. Can't defend against it. This was a Xerox unexpected play of the game. Try to explain this one to me, Tom.
No explanation needed. Just watch. A big play to keep the drive going. The unexpected play of the game brought to you by the document company Xerox, helping your company grow in unexpected ways. 6 of those penalties against Notre Dame that we were talking about, a season high 10 of them, and 6 have led to Pitt first downs. Tyler Palko, 280 yards, 4 touchdown passes, all in the first half. If he is able to pitch a 5th touchdown pass, he would be the first in history to do so against Notre Dame, and it also would perhaps give the Panthers the upset. Those penalty yards have been crucial. There's Brady Quinn. All he can do is roam the sideline, hoping his defense can make a play.
Well, you know, the other thing, too, for Brady Quinn, if I were he, I'm thinking about, hey, guys, our defense has just used 2 of my timeouts if I need them.
Second down and goal, 9-yard line.
Let's see if they kind of single Greg Lee, who's way up here at the top. There's going to be a safety over the top there. They're not going to take that chance.
Furman in motion, leaving an empty backfield. Palco hit as he released and caught by Gill for the touchdown. Had a man all over him, Mike Richardson, and Gill holds on to it, clamps it down for the score. The 5th touchdown pass by Tyler Palco, the first in the long, storied history of Notre Dame football, the first opponent to burn them for 5 touchdown passes in a game.
You know, Tom, if you're going to feel sorry for a guy, you have to feel sorry for Mike Richardson. I mean, there's a guy who finally had a guy incredibly well covered, and he struggled all day, and yet Eric Gill just takes it away from him even when he is well covered.
Extra point attempt, Cummings. Down, good. And Pittsburgh, aided by crucial penalties against the Irish, able to get the touchdown pass from Palco and go in front 38-35, and it draws a lusty boo from the crowd.
Right down there, perfect coverage, really. And it's the 6'5", 270-pound Eric Gill just takes it away from him.
Palco dropped just as he got rid of the football.
Just an amazing series of plays, poor plays, bad plays by the defensive backs of Notre Dame. I mean, there's just no way around it, right, Tom? And you can't say it any other way. They just have had a horrible, horrible day.
And Palco's put on quite a show.
Absolutely. And some receivers. If it's not Greg Lee jumping up to catch the ball, it's tight ends. That's 3 touchdowns by tight ends today. So Palco is seeing the whole field. You know, you take away Greg Lee, he solves the puzzle a different way. This guy's only a sophomore. He's going to have a big career at Pittsburgh.
I'll say.
Huge game.
So 2:24 left. It's a 3-point game. Notre Dame would need only a field goal to tie.
And remember, as I said, that you had to use 2 timeouts defensively on that last series. So, you know, I'm Brady Quinn. I'm saying the defense kind of hogged a couple of my timeouts that I need.
And in the drive that ended the game against Boston College, they did not use their time very efficiently. Quinn, for one, held the ball too long on several occasions.
They should have plenty of time, though, Tom. They'll have it with over 2 minutes in a timeout. They should have plenty of time.
Should be enough to still be able to use all the field.
Right.
Russell Squid kicks it.
Pittsburgh's been awful.
Look at this. Let it go in the end zone and down it now.
You have to.
Yep. And that's what happens with Anastasio.
That's a great squib kick. Prevents the big return, which they've done all year long, giving up the big return.
So Brady Quinn trying to lead the Irish from behind.
And Tom, one of those defining moments for quarterbacks. I mean, he's had, you know, you look at his numbers, he's had a very nice day for Brady. But I think in the eyes of your teammates and coaches staff, these are the moments when you play at a university that's had the great quarterback heritage and guys that have brought their teams from behind like Joe Montana and Joe Theismann. Here's how you define yourself.
The Pitt lead is 3. The Panthers have already played 3 overtime games this season. Notre Dame has to go 80 yards for a touchdown that would give them the lead. Fasano got about 9 yards on first down and out of bounds to stop the clock.
You know, DJ Fitzpatrick, we were talking to him yesterday, his long of the year is 47, so it means he has to get to about, what, the 30 or the 30-yard line to give him a 47-yard attempt. Although he said this cold weather affects you maybe 5 yards, he said to us yesterday.
Like kicking a rock, he said cold weather affects the football.
So you think, you know, to get his career long or his season long, you'd have to get, you know, taking that 5 yards into account, down to the 25-yard line.
Second down run by Ryan Grant. Gives the Irish the first down, stops the clock, reset the chains.
Yeah, why wouldn't Darius Walker, who's had all the big runs, be in there at this point?
Maybe because his pass protection is not as good, and they're going to have to pass the ball.
I'd pass it to him.
To get down the field. Takes care of the protection, doesn't it? Quinn sees all his receivers covered and tucks it under. Brady Quinn picks up a first down, taking a page from Tyler Palco's book, and a flag as he's hit out of bounds.
It was nearly unanimous. I saw 3 flags go up. He's a big old athlete, Brady Quinn.
Dead ball. Personal foul. On the defense. Number 17. 15-yard penalty. The assessed from the end of the run. First down.
Tom, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking to Ryan Harris, the left tackle for the Irish. He said, we have a really tough quarterback in number 10. This guy never loses his composure, no matter how many times he gets knocked around. I'm not so sure about that. That was the old.
There have been some questionable calls both ways, huh?
But no, this is a tough guy, and Brady and his tackle Ryan Harris really appreciates the way he's been able to respond to getting knocked down most of this year.
So another 15 yards tacked on to the end. Puts the ball at the 32-yard line. They're going to run to play it safe, and they get a big run from Ryan Grant.
Well, they're in DJ Fitzpatrick's range, but again, they want to use all 2 minutes left of this game before they even attempt that. This would be a really defining moment for Brady Quinn to bring his team from behind.
Timeout for a measurement.
You mentioned that Pittsburgh has been in 3 overtime games. No one in Division 1A has been in more. They're 2-1 in those games.
Right now, the Irish thinking touchdown. And a little short of the first down. It'll be second down and 1. Second down and less than 1.
Time should not, again, as we said before, should not be a factor. Still have that timeout.
Pittsburgh still preserving its 3 timeouts here.
You know, they're too close to throw it to Matt Shelton. He's averaging 40 yards a catch. He's going here.
Wait for the ball to be marked ready for play. Now it is. Hand off again to Grant. Hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss by Session.
They got awfully conservative a couple of weeks ago against Boston College, and Bill Dietrich was saying to us yesterday, I need to be a little bit more aggressive in second halves of game.
This is third down. Quinn's in the shotgun. Brady Quinn has it dropped by Fasano. Had the first down to Fasano, dropped it. Now it's fourth down. It's going to be about a 44-yard field goal attempt to tie the game.
DJ Fitzpatrick. We're first going to watch the perfect read, the perfect throw. And Fasano just turned his head as he was trying to break upfield. 9 of 12 is DJ Fitzpatrick this year.
Or they mark it down, it's going to be about 45 yards. Fitzpatrick. He's hit 9 of 12 this year, 47 the longest. This one, 45 yards to tie the game. On its way, and it is off the upright and through. John Gonzalez, our director, might want to get a shot of touchdown Jesus over there over the wall. That was one of those magical Irish moments.
Well, field goal Jesus in this one, but that's all they needed at this point. A little bit of a hook on it. A high school golfer. Just enough hook to keep it inbounds, though. Inside the uprights. I mean, DJ Fitzpatrick, we've talked about him, the kind of year he's had as a punter and as a kicker. Almost a bobbled snap. Matt Shelton is the holder. Did a great job of getting the ball off the ground and placed to allow DJ Fitzpatrick to come through with heroics.
The body English. Oh.
You know what a nice kid. Field goal Jesus.
Well, Pittsburgh, remember, now has 3 timeouts and Tyler Palko. That's a pretty good combination.
Yeah, it's a real good combo. And a pretty good kicker themselves, and Josh Cummings, who kicked the winning field goal against Boston College earlier in the year.
5 ties, 3 lead changes. The biggest lead by either team, 7. We're tied with just over a minute to go. Furman with the return and breaks free down the sideline. Nudged out of bounds.
That's a good
at
return.
The 20-yard line.
That's a good start.
Marcus Furman on the return.
That's a real good start.
Fitzpatrick, the kicker, was able to get Furman out of bounds, and so here comes Tyler Palko, already He's become the first quarterback to throw 5 touchdown passes against Notre Dame ever. And now, staring in the face of their 4th overtime game of the season, they have 1:06 and 3 timeouts to try to get some winning points in regulation.
I mean, the point counterpoint was all Greg Lee in the first half. In the second half, Tyler Palko, he was been taken away, so he's found another way to keep this game incredibly competitive.
Justin Tuck trying to put on some pressure. Palko's pass taken away by Gill. He just wrestled it away from the defense, and Gill still on his feet. Now he's down to the 32-yard line. Tackled there by Preston Jackson. The strength of the hands of Eric Gill.
The Irish are going to have to get some taller corners or something. I mean, these guys, the tight ends, the wide receivers, are just this is against Goolsby. Actually, Goolsby incredibly strong. Goolsby went for the steal, the interception, and then tried to make the steal. That's a play that maybe Goolsby should make the tackle, not the interception.
37 yards. Palko throws it on a swing pass, and out of bounds is Gill. Greshel would try to kick a winning field goal if it comes to that, with 43 seconds on the clock.
All Palko cannot do is take a sack, or obviously turn the ball over, but just do not take a sack. And he's been pretty disciplined about getting rid of the ball, as we've talked about before. They call them throwaways.
It would be about 49 or 50 yards if they don't gain any more. It's 2nd down and 10.
There's a 3-man rush.
Palko's pass, stretching out. Gill again, clutch catch. Short of the first down, but in field goal range against Mike Richardson. 32 seconds on the clock. And now Pitt uses its first timeout.
Gill, that's the 6th catch by the tight end. He came in with 16.
Timeout, Pittsburgh.
Been some game, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been fun to watch, boy. Some really, really good offensive plays. Here's Gill, number 45, against Richardson. I mean, again, Richardson has him well covered.
Not a whole lot you can do about that.
Yeah,
huh?
that's twice that Richardson had him perfectly covered. Catches one there, and earlier he caught a touchdown on good coverage.
Right now would be about a 42-yard field goal for Josh Cummings.
Interception, then the missed tackle by Goolsby, was going for the steal, and then a powerful, heady catch and run by the tight end Eric Gill. So I know with 29 seconds left, Walt Harris really is thinking about a first down here. I don't think he's positioned the ball for a field goal. He still has 2 timeouts. I mean, he'd really like to create a chip shot here. And I expect Notre Dame to go with the 3-man line and have the spy technique, Derek Curry on Palko. But even when you do that, he flips it or finds a way to make a first down.
Yeah, I'd want the ball in Palko's hands, I think, here. And again, the numbers on Cummings. 12 of 17 field goals, 47 yards his longest. The junior college transfer who started his career at Oregon. Big Pittsburgh Steelers fan. The Panthers trying to take a page from the Steelers book, who've had the great start in the NFL. 3rd down. Handoff. And bursting free. Furman is able to pick up the first down and make it a chip shot now. Clock stops on the first down run by Furman, who got it all the way to the 12-yard line. How can that happen?
Yeah, and Palko's going to go into, 3-man line. Everybody's in coverage. This is not a bad call. 3-man rush, 8-man in coverage. I think everybody's backed off, worried about tight ends, worried about wide receivers, been jumping up and catching balls. So a beautiful call by Walt Harris, perfectly executed by the Panthers. And what a game, boy.
What would this do to if they're able to pull it off, to the status of Coach Harris?
It's got to improve it. Absolutely. I mean,
but enough, what I'm saying is enough. Will it be enough? Would it be enough?
Well, I don't know what the AD's thinking. As we've said before, I think he's done a pretty good job there. If he wins today, he'll be bowl eligible again. The 5th straight bowl potentially for them.
It's been 1986 since Pittsburgh has been able to win at Notre Dame Stadium.
Remember, we were talking to Rob Petiti, who was saying, Lost 3 straight years to the Irish. Nothing would mean more to me. They go to my last time in Notre Dame Stadium, play against Justin Tuck, have a good game, protect my quarterback, and go home with a win. He's had a pretty good game, Rob Petiti.
Here's Big Rob. 24 seconds on the clock.
Petiti grew up a big Notre Dame fan, he told us. He used to have Notre Dame wallpaper on his...
Posters all over his room. It would be sweet for him. The big senior from Rumson, New Jersey. Lived down the street from Bruce Springsteen.
Born to run.
Might run all the way back to Pittsburgh. Palco just keeps it, takes a knee.
He's going to let it run down to probably about 4 or 5 seconds. You're going to get the fumble that's snapped. You can always call another timeout. No, this is the last coming up.
There it is. Clock stops with 6 seconds. And Josh Cummings, the junior from Newhall, California, will attempt a winning field goal.
Would be his second of the season.
Tyler Palco, what a job.
You are absolutely right. 26 of 42, 334 yards, and a record-setting 5 touchdown passes.
His 4th 300-yard passing game of the season.
He's absolutely on fire. Came into the game completing 65% of his passes the last 2 weeks. Has been better than that today. Just been unreal. With the Irish called timeout.
To try to ice Cummings. And a snap. A 6-game losing streak at Notre Dame Stadium. It's going to be 32 yards. Josh Cummings, 32-yard field goal attempt with 6 seconds left. And Notre Dame
32-yard field goal attempt.
will try to ice the kicker by calling a timeout. Let Cummings think about it a little longer.
Both teams are now out of timeouts.
And both teams now are out of timeouts. Which is pretty academic with only 6 seconds to go and 2 races to go in the chase for the Nextel Cup. After strong runs in Phoenix, Dale Jr. and Jeff Gordon look to make their move on Kurt Busch. The Mountain Dew Southern 500 tomorrow. It's at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, beginning with the Discover Card Countdown to Green coming your way here on NBC.
Well, you know, they have 2 different long snappers, and on the short snaps, Mike McGlynn is their short snapper, number 75. Is he in the game? Like, he must be. I don't see him. Yeah, there he is over the center. This is a guy that's played right tackle all game long. So his hands have been chewed on most of this game. He sees 1 good snap.
32-yard field goal. Josh Cummings to win it for Pitt. On its way. It is good. With 1 second left.
Yeah,
and Walt Harris with a big hug for his tight end, Eric Gill. Why not?
Unbelievable. Gill has been freakish. 6 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown. Injured Panther on the field. Look at the snap.
Josh Cummings.
Good snap, good hold, perfect execution.
Gressel, the punter holding it.
I think it's Mike McGlynn who may be down. Ellick, close, but not close enough. And with 1 second left, I anticipate a squib kick.
The Irish, who began the day with such great expectations for perhaps a win in their final appearance of the season at home, giving the seniors a good send-off. There are, as we said, 15 seniors who for sure are playing their last game today. They were hoping that by the end of the day, they would have a Gator Bowl bid in their possession.
But you know what? Tyler Palko was magnificent, and they just, those big receivers just ate up the corners.
Tyler Palko put on a show today that hasn't been seen very often at Notre Dame Stadium. Certainly the 5 touchdown passes have never been seen before.
Think about this. The Irish lost 3 games if they lose this one. 3 games at home this season.
Well, as we said when we started the broadcast today, which Irish team will show up? They have been maddeningly inconsistent all season long. They play a tremendous game, a tremendous half sometimes, and come back with a subpar performance. It's just hard to figure out.
You score 38 points, you should win, Tom, right? You score 38 points, that should be enough. The defensive corners were just victimized.
And you know what? Penalties.
Yeah, crucial penalties.
10 penalties, 119 yards against the Irish. 6 of them led to Pitt first downs.
Beat 2 top 10 teams this year, too. I think we talk about the up and down season they had. There's a squib kick.
Russell squibs it. See if the Irish try to toss it around. That'll be it. Tossed around. The ball is dead. The man is down. That was Nick Borselli, I think. And Tyler Palko celebrates. Walt Harris, too. And they earned it. Pittsburgh, with clutch performances, aided by the untimely Notre Dame penalties. But Tyler Palko was fantastic, and his receivers, Greg Lee in the first half, Eric Gill in the second half, and Cummings with the game-winning field goal. Let's go to Lewis.
All right, Tom, a chaotic scene down here in the Pittsburgh end zone. Tyler, first of all, congratulations. And what does it mean to you to be the first quarterback ever in history to throw 5 touchdown passes on Notre Dame?
I don't really care about stats right now. All I care about is we got to win, and that's, my teammates know that. For me, that's the bottom line. I don't care if I threw for 3 yards. We got to win. We needed this win so badly over the great Notre Dame team. I'm so proud of our fucking football team. Man, we're awesome.
When you speak about the Big East implications and the possible bowl implications, that makes the win even bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, but you know what? We need to just worry about taking them one game at a time. This is our first game that we took care of. We got 2 more games left, and this is the type of character this football team has, and we got 2 more games to prove it.
All right, Tom. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Tom?
All right, we apologize for Tyler Palko's language in the heat of the moment. After the brilliant game he had. Too bad it was marred by that moment. But let's go to Lewis now with Coach Walt Harris.
Walt, you look like you're still in disbelief. Quite an ending there. Just talk about how your team was able to stay with it in the second half. 4 touchdowns the first half, but things got much more difficult the second half.
Our guys hung in there, you know. They did a nice job adjusting halftime. We were a little slow adjusting ourselves. But I can't say anything but great things about our players. Our players got it done. You win with players. Our guys have been fighting through adversity, youth, some negativity and all that good stuff, but they won the football game. I couldn't be more proud of them.
Well, I don't think people understand how difficult it is to come in here and win at Notre Dame Stadium. It's 1986 was the last time that happened. What does that really mean to come here and win in a very tough, hard-fought battle like we saw?
Well, there's not many better atmospheres than this. And I'm just real proud of our players that the University of Pittsburgh is coming back, too. We're trying to build our tradition back up. Hopefully someday it'll be like this.
And wide receiver Greg Lee stepped up pretty good here today in the first half, even though he was shut down in the second half.
Yeah, Greg was magnificent in the first half. Magnificent.
I'm sorry.
I'd say we had to do a better job getting the ball to him in the second half.
And how do you describe what Tyler Palko was able to do? His mobility, his decision-making, his smarts. I mean, this really did start from childhood with this guy, right?
This guy loves the game now. And for all you young quarterbacks aspiring, this guy loves it, man. He loves it, and he works at it. You know, whatever he's getting, he's earned now. It's not like he just shows up for practice. He puts so much time in and so much commitment. But he's a football player. He's got great vision, very accurate, knows the game plan, and will not lose.
All right, congratulations, Walt.
Thank you.
Tom?
All right, Lewis, as Walt Harris and the Pittsburgh Panthers become bowl eligible with their 6th victory of the season, a 41-38 thriller against the Irish.
You know, the common theme I think we've seen here at Notre Dame Stadium, two quarterbacks just have magnificent days managing the game. Kyle Orton of Purdue and then Tyler Palko today.
And again, Tyler Palko, in the heat of the moment, we apologize for his language, as the Pittsburgh Panthers come into Notre Dame Stadium and break a 6-game losing streak here and win for the first time since 1986 on Irish turf. And they did it with their quarterback achieving something that no other quarterback had ever done against the Irish, throw 5 touchdown passes. So Pittsburgh wins it 41-38. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, it's your local news. For Pat Hayden and Lewis Johnson, Tom Hammond saying so long from Notre Dame Stadium. We'll send you now to our New York studio and join Jimmy Roberts. You've been watching Notre Dame football on NBC.